The godly contract, I am bound to the goddess and can do whatever I want. Ding dong. Their helping contract system is officially open. Every time the host helps a person of the opposite sex with a face value of 90 plus, he will establish a contractual relationship with them, receive rich rewards, and do whatever he wants in his life. The target person has been detected. The system is binding: goddess, school beauty, sister, aunt. Binding successful. At the same time, what surprised Jiang Feng the most was that their attitudes changed. Chapter 1: Jiang Feng's grades are not ideal. Auntie, your shoulder strap is untied. Sorry, classmate, can you help me tie it? Yes, of course. Parallel world, Yuching number 1 middle school. Today is the day when the college entrance examination results are released. Most of the students in class 1 of senior 3 came to school to check their scores. Some parents of students also came to consult the teacher about filling in their applications after the results are released. At 14 o'clock, the query system was officially opened. Everyone in the classroom became nervous. There was only one exception. Jiang Feng's eyes still stayed on the aunt in front of him. When he helped to tie the shoulder strap just now, his fingertips accidentally touched the other's white skin. At that moment, Jiang Feng seemed to feel a subtle silky feeling. His thoughts could not help but drift to the distance, as if a silent melody ripples in the sea of heart, leaving an endless aftertaste mark. Ding dong. Their helping contract system is officially open. This system is also known as godly contract, goddess contract, master servant contract, devil contract. From now on, every time the host helps the opposite sex with a face value of 90 plus, he will establish a contractual relationship with him, get rich rewards from it, and do whatever he wants in his life. Jiang Feng was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect that his little effort this time would directly activate the system. You know, before this, he has always been a complete academic scumbag, and he ranked last in the class every time he took an exam. So he had actually prepared for this college entrance examination result, and the score would definitely be pitifully low. However, now that there is a system, the college entrance examination score is not so important. He has read many novels and naturally understands the power of the system. Coming back to his senses, Jiang Feng took out his admission ticket and prepared to check his college entrance examination score first. Admission ticket number 839180662. Chinese, 90 points. Mathematics, 50 points. Foreign language, 32 points. Liberal arts, 108 points. Total score, 280 points. This score cannot be said to be bad, it is simply too bad to be embarrassing. It is no exaggeration to say that anyone who takes the exam with their eyes closed may score higher than this. Hey, if I can get 20 more points, I can at least go to a third-tier university. Jiang Feng sighed on the surface, but he didn't care in his heart. He was going to go back and study his system carefully. Hello, classmate, can I borrow your pen? Just when Jiang Feng was about to leave, a pleasant voice suddenly came. Jiang Feng looked up and saw that it was the aunt just now. She turned around and took the initiative to borrow a pen from him. This is a beautiful young woman. Although she is in her 30s, she still maintains a graceful figure and beautiful face. She has an oval face, delicate and three-dimensional features, and fair and delicate skin, as if it has become more compact and shiny after years of precipitation. A head of black and shiny long hair, casually falling on the shoulders, gives people a lazy and charming feeling. Coupled with the high nose bridge and rosy lips, it adds a bit of three-dimensionality and vividness to this beauty. Okay, take it. Jiang Feng retracted his gaze and then handed over the pen. Anyway, there is really nothing to record with his score, so it is natural to borrow a pen. At the same time, Jiang Feng's mind was flooded with memories about the identity of this beautiful young woman. She in front of him is the mother of school beauty Yang Feng. Recalling the parent-teacher meeting 3 years ago, her appearance was unforgettable. Not only did it cause quite a stir among the boys in the class, but it also became an indelible beautiful memory in the hearts of many people. Her elegant temperament, gentle smile and natural beauty seemed to light up the whole classroom in an instant. At that time, Jiang Feng was naturally deeply attracted by this beautiful aunt. He even felt that his interest in the school belle's mother was sometimes stronger than the school belle herself. When Jiang Feng discussed privately with the boys in the class, they all agreed, this aunt is so beautiful. When she was young, she was definitely a goddess of the school belle level. This view was recognized by everyone, and no one raised any objections. Everyone was impressed by her unique charm that emanated from the inside out, and was deeply attracted. Now, time flies, 3 years have passed quietly, and when Jiang Feng saw the school bell's mother again, her beautiful face did not seem to be diminished by the passage of time, but more charming and more beautiful. That poetic face, bright eyes, and the dignity and elegance revealed in her gestures all silently tell that time has been particularly kind to her. No. Perhaps it should be said that compared to 3 years ago, she is now more radiant and more beautiful than before, as if time has stopped on her, adding more mature charm and charisma to her. This makes people sigh that the beauty remains the same and the years are quiet and good. Thank you, I will return it to you as soon as I finish it. On the other side, the beautiful young woman reached out to take the pen handed over by Jiang Feng and expressed her gratitude. Ding dong. The target person is detected, and the help contract system is binding. 0%, 25%, 50%, 100%. Contract successful. Target person, Zhao Meijing. Level contract value, LV1099. Age, 38 years old. Height, 166 centimeters. Weight, 52.5 kilograms. Appearance, 92 points. Body, 98 points. Special, 99 points out of 100 points. 1 point will be deducted for each relationship with the opposite sex. Interests, fitness, sports, shopping. Remarks. 1. For all future consumption by Zhao Meijing, the host will receive 10 times cash back. The source of funds is safe and reliable, and there will be no legal risks. 2. The more Zhao Meijing consumes, the higher her level will be, and she can upgrade when the requirements are met. Level division, LV1, 099 LV2, 100 999 LV3, 1000 9999. 3. Extra rewards. For every level up of Zhao Meijing, the host will get extra rewards, including but not limited to real estate, cars, equity, skills, props, pills, and messages. 4. Modification points. For every level up of Zhao Meijing, the host will get modification points. This point can be used to decrease the value of Zhao Meijing's attribute panel, or delete the desired content. After reading the introduction, Jiang Feng was a little excited. Originally, he was going to study this system carefully after returning home, but he didn't expect that Zhao Meijing asked him to borrow something and met the conditions of helping the opposite sex with a face value of 90 plus, and the system was automatically activated. Needle not poke. This contract system can be said to be ordinary, but it contains incredible power. As long as you help the opposite sex with a face value of 90 plus, you can establish a contractual relationship with the other party, and all the consumption of the other party will be returned to you at a ratio of 10 times. Jiang Feng thought of a picture in his mind. Every time Aunt Meijing spent money, he could get a corresponding cashback reward. If he contracts other opposite sex with a 90 plus appearance in the future, his wealth will definitely accumulate like a snowball. What surprised Jiang Feng even more was that this system also had a wealth of extra rewards. Every time a character was upgraded, it was possible to trigger various unexpected rewards. In addition, the system also provides a modify points function, which can be used to adjust the character attribute panel. For example, to enhance Zhao Meijing's points in a certain item, adjust her mental state, or optimize her personality and hobbies, in short, to adjust the other party to what you like. Zhao Meijing's special points were just a little less before. If I get modification points in the future, can I fix it for her? Jiang Feng closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and a fervent desire surged in his heart. Chapter 2, Aunt Goddess, Contract Binding Successful. The atmosphere in the classroom was tense and complex at this moment. The students had all checked their college entrance exam results. Some shook their heads gloomily, others sighed softly with a worried expression, while a few could hardly contain their excitement, bursting out in uncontrollable joy. Amidst this chaos, Jiang Feng appeared exceptionally calm and composed. He sat quietly at his desk, not a single ripple of emotion stirred within him as he looked at his results. He remained indifferent, serene, and unperturbed. In contrast, his attention was entirely focused on the system's interface. Before Jiang Feng's eyes, the system displayed Zhao Meijing's various attributes: 92 points for appearance, showcasing a gentle, elegant face with an exceptional aura, untouched by time. Her 98-point physique was a masterpiece of nature, curvaceous and full of charm. Once the contract was established, in Jiang Feng's eyes, this Aunt Mai Jing would have no secrets left. Her every emotion, her happiness, anger, sadness, and even the slightest fluctuations in her mood would be laid bare, unable to hide. At that moment, Aunt Mai Jing was focused on the task at hand, her expression serene and her movements graceful. Every action she made seemed like an artful, carefully designed picture, pleasing to the eye. Jiang Feng couldn't help but wonder if, when the contract took effect, it would create a deeper bond between them, or if it would spark an unprecedented clash of souls. The answer seemed to be hidden within this impending contract, waiting for him to uncover. At this thought, Jiang Feng raised his gaze and looked at Aunt Mai Jing once more. Dear students and parents, the class teacher, who had taken the stage to speak, said, "You should have all checked your results by now. Over the next few days, you must carefully consider your college applications and approach the process with caution. I would like to emphasize that if any parents have questions about the application process or need professional guidance, please come to me after the meeting. I will do my best to assist you." Upon hearing these words, Jiang Feng shifted his attention from the system interface and looked again at his score sheet. He shook his head slightly, knowing there was no need for him to bother with the teacher's advice. After all, given his results, no amount of application expertise could change much. However, Jiang Feng wasn't discouraged. Instead, an unprecedented sense of anticipation rose from deep within him. Now that he had the system, his future trajectory had already changed. With enough wealth and ability, attending college had become irrelevant. Of course, if he were bored, he could always apply to a school just for fun. At that point, he believed numerous prestigious universities would be eager to have him join. The classroom was filled with various loud noises. Students huddled in small groups, either whispering to each other or enthusiastically discussing their futures, speculating on what would come next. On the other side, the parents swarmed the teachers like a group of anxious bees, hoping to hear even a hint of guidance for their children's future. Jiang Mai Jing had originally planned to join the group of parents, but just as she was about to stand up, she suddenly felt a warm sensation wash over her, leaving her weak and forcing her to sit back down. What was going on? She had felt fine when leaving home this morning. Why was she suddenly feeling this way? Shaking her head, Jiang Mai Jing abandoned the idea of asking the teacher for advice and instead hurriedly held her stomach, leaving the classroom. 10 minutes later, after coming out of the restroom, Jiang Mai Jing saw the pen she had placed in her bag, and a strange feeling rippled through her heart. It was a long-forgotten emotional fluctuation. She recalled the boy who had borrowed the pen earlier. His eyes carried a hint of scholarly air, and his demeanor exuded a calm and restrained energy. Especially when he handed her the pen, their eyes met. His clear, spring-like gaze created an invisible force between them, forming a subtle bond. In that moment, she felt her cheeks warm, and her heartbeat seemed to quicken by a few beats. Without thinking, Jiang Mai Jing bit her lip, trying to calm herself down from this sudden emotional surge. Rationality told her that she had been divorced for many years, had become accustomed to an independent and peaceful life. How could she feel such a strong attraction to a young stranger? However, emotions often defy reason, and no matter how hard she tried to refocus on the current situation, she couldn't seem to calm down. Back in the classroom, Jiang Feng sat in his seat. When Aunt Mai Jing had stood up and left, he sensed a slight unease from her. Though he didn't know the cause, her graceful figure seemed like an unforgettable painting, full of unique charm. Her slender, willow-like posture swayed as she walked, her light steps seeming as if she were dancing on moonlight. Her slim yet upright figure resembled a solitary plum blossom standing against the winter frost, drawing all attention amidst the bustling crowd. It was clear that the system's high rating for her was no accident. It had accurately captured her inherent, transcendent charm. Jiang Feng shook his head, feeling a subtle ripple of emotion within him. He couldn't help but wonder how he could find the right moment to engage in a deeper conversation with Aunt Mai Jing. At that moment, a familiar voice interrupted his thoughts. "Feng Ji, how did you do in the exam?" It was Wang Bo, Jiang Feng's classmate and close friend. The two had known each other since childhood, and they lived in nearby neighborhoods. "Not bad, I did fairly steadily. I got 280 points. Jiang Feng replied calmly, having long since accepted his results without much emotional reaction. Wang Bo, looking at Jiang Feng's unflappable demeanor, couldn't help but feel a sense of admiration. He knew that Jiang Feng's results had always been this stable, without any significant fluctuations. This unusual steadiness left him at a loss for how to respond. After a moment, Wang Bo patted Jiang Feng on the shoulder and sincerely said, "Feng Ji, you're really steady." Jiang Feng smiled lightly and asked, "How about you? Looks like you have some good news to share." Wang Bo's face brightened, and he scratched his head, saying, "I did pretty well this time, got 608 points, quite a bit higher than my usual mock exams. Should be enough to barely make it to the first tier." It was an impressive performance, far above his usual mock exam scores. "That's great. We definitely need to celebrate your excellent results." Although Jiang Feng hadn't done well, he was still happy for his friend's success. Of course, the celebration wasn't just for Wang Bo's performance, it was also for his new system, and celebrating that felt perfectly justified. Wang Bo didn't immediately agree, however. He glanced at his phone and said, "Feng Ji, my sister is coming back today. She's going to pick me up, and we can grab a meal together." "Oh, that works." Jiang Feng nodded lightly, his mind drifting back to a fond memory of Wang Bo's sister. Though she was a few years older than them, she used to often lead them in play, and the bond between them was deep. She had gone to university in Qianfu and their contact had lessened since she had stayed there to work. Jiang Feng smiled, a deep sense of nostalgia on his face. He remembered her exceptional beauty, but what lingered in his mind even more was how she had taken care of him in a way that could only be described as a big sister's love. As a child, Jiang Feng had felt both touched and awkward at her affectionate attention. However, now, looking back, if he faced it with the mindset he had now, he would undoubtedly embrace that warmth without hesitation. Chapter 3, Sister. Brother Complex. Hug me. Jiang Feng and Wang Bo chatted as they left the classroom and waited at the school gate. About 5 minutes later, a Volkswagen Passat drove up and smoothly parked in front of them. This was Wang Bo's family car. It was originally driven by his father, but due to his sister working in another city, it had temporarily been handed over to her. With the crisp sound of the car door opening, a stunning figure emerged from the driver's seat. It was Wang Bo's sister Wang Xinran. She wore a black work uniform that sparkled under the sunlight, outlining her graceful figure. She exuded both the competent and carefree aura of a professional woman while maintaining the gentle elegance unique to females. Sunlight filtered through her hair, casting a soft glow on her cheeks, making her beauty even more radiant, her spirit lively and vibrant. "Hey, sis, you're back." Wang Bo greeted with a beaming smile, full of affection and admiration for his sister. "Millimeter, yes," Wang Xinran smiled back, her bright eyes showing a hint of tiredness, quickly concealed by her. "There was a bit of traffic on the highway, but I came straight home and didn't waste too much time." As she spoke, her gaze naturally shifted to Jiang Feng, who stood beside Wang Bo. Her eyes softened with affection and concern as she asked, "Little brother, it's been a while. Did you miss your sister?" Before Jiang Feng could respond, Wang Xinran quickly walked over and pulled him into a tight hug, as though wanting to pour all her longing and care into this embrace. The air was filled with a subtle fragrance, the unique scent of Wang Xinran, which gave a sense of calm and closeness. "Yeah, I missed you," Jiang Feng said, his voice full of admiration. The sight of his beautiful, uniform-wearing sister, with her slim figure, made her curves hard to hide. The uniform only emphasized her shapely form, giving her a refined charm. Jiang Feng's hand hesitated briefly in the air before instinctively wrapping around her slender, supple waist. At that moment, it felt as though he could sense the warmth and vitality beneath her skin, making his heartbeat quicken uncontrollably. Little brother, it's been so long. You've grown braver." Wang Xinran chuckled, her eyes filled with delight and affection. She showed no discomfort or resistance to Jiang Feng's sudden closeness. Instead, she felt a sense of fulfillment, something she had been waiting for. In the past, whenever she tried to get close to Jiang Feng or make affectionate gestures, he would shyly shy away, blushing. That youthful shyness made her both adore him and wonder if it was because she wasn't attractive enough, causing him to reject her affection. But now, seeing Jiang Feng shed his shy demeanor and become more composed, Wang Xinran felt secretly pleased. She understood that this was part of his growth. He had transformed from the bashful little boy into someone mature enough to accept affection. With that thought, her smile became even brighter, and she embraced the closeness with a heart full of joy. Ahem. Jiang Feng, still holding her, felt a bit embarrassed after her teasing. "No worries, little brother. If you want a hug, just hold on," Wang Xinran replied casually, clearly fond of Jiang Feng. On the side, Wang Bo watched this familiar scene and wasn't he very surprised. He simply shrugged. He knew his sister was a brother complex type, but this attention was reserved only for Jiang Feng. Even he, her real brother, didn't he get the same treatment? All right, sis, let us get in the car, Wang Bo said after a while. Reluctantly, Jiang Feng pulled away from the hug. The sensation still lingered in his mind. Okay, let's go eat, Wang Xinran smiled and then whispered in Jiang Feng's ear, when no one's around, I'll let you hug me as much as you want. Okay, Jiang Feng replied, feeling amused by how good his sister was to him. She practically offered herself up. Hey, enough of you two. Wang Bo, finally fed up, interrupted, sis, don't you care about me, your real brother? This isn't fair. Oh? You want fairness? Wang Xinran gave him a quick glance, and suddenly, Wang Bo felt an intense pressure. It was a hot summer day, but he shivered involuntarily. No, nothing. You carry on, Wang Bo quickly backed down, having no way to stand up to his sister. The three of them got in the car, and Wang Xinran drove them to a nearby hotpot restaurant. This restaurant, close to the school, was a popular gathering spot for students. It specialized in a rich beef oil-based flavor, and the place was known for being clean, affordable, and serving good ingredients. Business was always booming. After they entered, the waiter led them to a window-side seat. Wang Xinran scanned the menu and picked a few dishes before turning to Jiang Feng. Little brother, anything you want to eat? I'll order it for you. I'm fine, whatever you like, I'll love it too, Jiang Feng replied with a smile. All right, I'll just pick the best, Wang Xinran nodded happily and continued ordering. Wang Bo, sitting beside them, opened his mouth but quickly closed it again. He felt increasingly ignored. His sister didn't even ask what he wanted anymore. Sighing, he muttered in his heart. He felt like he was fading into the background, but he had no way to complain. What's more, Wang Bo noticed Jiang Feng seemed to be getting better at flirting. Was that even possible? A while later, after Wang Xinran had finished ordering, she showed Jiang Feng the menu. After confirming nothing else was needed, she finally placed the order. By the way, do you two want a drink? Wang Xinran asked. She knew Jiang Feng's grades in the college entrance exams hadn't been great, so she didn't ask about it. However, it was common for boys to drink when they were feeling down. Really? Sis, you're letting me drink? Wang Bo said, his face lighting up. It seemed his sister still cared about him. What are you thinking? I'm asking Xiao Feng. Only if he wants to drink, you can, Wang Xinran said, giving him a side glance. Okay then, Wang Bo grumbled, already immune to her words. It didn't sting as much anymore. Then just drink a little, Jiang Feng replied, though he wasn't upset about his college entrance results. However, his sister's concern couldn't be neglected, as it wasn't just a drink but her deep care and expectations. By the way, Xinran sis, you're driving later, so you can't drink, Jiang Feng reminded her, showing his concern. Wang Xinran's eyes sparkled with delight upon hearing that. She smiled warmly, touched by the thoughtful reminder, all right, I know. You're always so considerate. Her words were filled with affection, and Jiang Feng could feel her sincerity. Without thinking, Wang Xinran reached out and gently brushed her hand against Jiang Feng's cheek. The soft touch felt like a spring breeze, leaving a ripple of warmth on his skin. This unexpected gesture left Jiang Feng stunned. He felt a soft sensation on his cheek, his heart racing as he suddenly felt a flutter deep inside. Chapter 4, Auntie Spends Money, Reward Received. At their Marjuji hotpot restaurant, their waiter quickly arrived with the dishes. Their hot, sizzling beef oil base was a bright red color, gleaming like agate, with a spicy fragrance that filled the air, making it incredibly appetizing just to look at. The fresh, tender beef tripe pieces were crystal clear and plump, as if they had been washed by glacier snowmelt, providing a sharp contrast against the vibrant red hotpot broth. The lamb slices, a perfect mix of fat and lean, were so thin they could almost be compared to the wings of a cicada, with visible clear textures, and seemingly carried the freshness of the grasslands and the joy of the sheep. The vegetable platter, with lush green vegetables, and colorful ingredients like golden needle mushrooms, tofu, and bean curd, were neatly arranged, resembling a miniature countryside scene. The three of them chatted while eating. Since they hadn't seen each other in a while, there was naturally plenty to talk about. However, when it came to the high school entrance exam scores, Wang Xinran hadn't mentioned it, as she was worried it might make Jiang Feng feel bad. This small detail warmed Jiang Feng's heart. Indeed, his sister was so thoughtful. The meal lasted over an hour. The two of them drank 6 bottles of beer, and Wang Bo, still exhilarated from his unexpected good performance in the exams, was in a particularly excited mood. Jiang Feng, on the other hand, remained calm, eating while waiting for the system's notification. He hadn't forgotten the system's previous prompt. Only when Auntie Mai Jing kept spending money could he receive rebates and rewards. The school's events should have wrapped up by now, and he wondered what kind of surprise Auntie Mai Jing would bring when she got home. Just then, he suddenly heard a sound in his mind. Ding dong. Congratulations, host. Zhao Mai Jing has purchased 10 packs of Sophie sanitary pads, totaling 100 yuan. You have earned a 10x rebate, totaling 1000 yuan. 10 packs. Does Auntie Mai Jing use that much? Jiang Feng's first thought was that the amount seemed a bit large. But then he thought, with the school beauty also living at home, such things can be contagious. If the two of them are using the same products, it's probably about the same, right? Ding dong. Gongshang Bank, a deposit of 1000 yuan has been made to your account ending in 1209 at 1612 on June 23. Jiang Feng heard the text message alert and quickly opened the mobile app to check. Sure enough, the balance in his account had changed. Perfect. This isn't a dream, the money really came through. Jiang Feng felt very satisfied, and his previously anxious heart was now completely at ease. At this moment, he was really looking forward to Auntie Mai Jing not holding back and buying more things. Feng Ji, why are you smiling? Wang Bo, sitting opposite him, noticed Jiang Feng smiling strangely. Meanwhile, Wang Xinran began to worry, fearing that Jiang Feng might do something foolish because of his bad exam results. It's nothing, I did really well on my exams, I'm just so excited I haven't calmed down yet. Jiang Feng explained earnestly. Wang Bo stared in confusion. You scored 280 points and you're saying you did great. He felt like Jiang Feng was probably a little shaken, but he didn't want to discourage his friend, so he just silently nodded. Wang Xinran bit her lip, still concerned, and thought that maybe she should give her brother an extra hug, hoping it would cheer him up. At this moment, Jiang Feng didn't notice what his sister and Wang Bo were thinking, because the system's notification sound was still ringing in his mind. Zhao Mai Jing has gained 100 contract points, and her character level has increased to LV2 100-999. Congratulations, host, you have received 1 modification point to modify Zhao Mai Jing. Extra reward, all shares of Marju Ji Hotpot Restaurant in Jiangbei District, Yuqin City. Jiang Feng looked at the system's rewards, very pleased. First, there was their modification point. Jiang Feng had already planned to modify Auntie Mai Jing's special attributes. Ding dong. Zhao Mai Jing special points plus 1. Character, Zhao Mai Jing. Special, 100. Note, Zhao Mai Jing's body is under repair, and she will notice changes in herself within a few days. Awesome. Jiang Feng couldn't help but give himself a thumbs up. Auntie Mai Jing, you don't need to thank me, I'm truly a good person. After using the modification point, Jiang Feng turned his attention to the next reward. With this hotpot restaurant, he would now be a boss himself. Almost immediately, Jiang Feng received information about Marju Ji Hotpot Restaurant, its share structure, location, employee list, etc. Wait a second, Marju Ji Hotpot Restaurant. Isn't he that the very restaurant we're eating at right now? Jiang Feng looked around. The restaurant was packed, with every table filled. At this rate, if they maintain the same occupancy, they could easily make 3 or 4 million a year. While observing the restaurant, over 20 waitstaff suddenly rushed over. They were all dressed in the same uniform and holding glowing sticks, seemingly to celebrate something. At almost the same time, the entire restaurant's lights dimmed. The background music was replaced by the energizing song My Future Is Not a Dream. The over 20 waitstaff arrived at Jiang Feng's table and respectfully shouted in unison. Congratulations, boss, for your great success in the exams, wishing you a bright future. Congratulations, boss, for your great success in the exams, wishing you a bright future. Congratulations, boss, for your great success in the exams, wishing you a bright future. Afterward, the manager, Zhang Liner, stepped forward and respectfully looked at Jiang Feng, saying, "Welcome, boss, to the restaurant to guide us." Wang Bo. Wang Xinran. Both of them were a bit stunned. Could they have mistaken someone for the boss? Or was this some sort of prank? After all, from what they knew about Jiang Feng, how could he possibly transform into the owner so suddenly? Also, the slogans their waitstaff shouted seemed a bit exaggerated. Jiang Feng only scored 280 points, and they are calling it a great success. Wang Xinran had avoided mentioning the exam scores earlier, fearing it would upset Jiang Feng, but now the results were directly shouted out. Actually, at this moment, Jiang Feng also felt a bit guilty. After all, his score couldn't even get him into a third-tier university. But he quickly calmed down. The more this happened, the less he could panic. He had to maintain the air of a boss. Not bad, you've worked hard," Jiang Feng said calmly. "It's nothing, it's what we should do." The manager, with a wide smile, immediately brought over more dishes, top-quality fresh ingredients. Of course. The boss is here, so they had to serve the best. Zhang Liner had managed to become the manager through her own social skills. Earlier, she received a call from the former owner, who told her that his family was going abroad and would be selling the restaurant. The new owner's details came through via text message, including some basic information about Jiang Feng. After reading the message, Zhang Liner was quite nervous. She had just served Jiang Feng at this table, and it turned out he was the new boss. Indeed, he looked young, just as in the photo. But these things weren't for her to worry about. Her job was to do her best as a manager. To leave a good impression on Jiang Feng, Zhang Liner quickly gave instructions for the staff to prepare and even added a special congratulatory message. The data mentioned that the boss was a wealthy second generation who had just finished the high school exams and had huge amounts of capital invested in various industries. So Zhang Liner thought it would be appropriate to flatter him by wishing him success in the exams. However, she never expected Jiang Feng to only score 280 points, making her flattery feel misplaced. Feng Ji, is this really your restaurant?" Wang Bo asked, still unsure. "Little Feng, you own a restaurant too?" Wang Xinran also asked, now curious. Jiang Feng nodded, wondering what excuse he should come up with. Before he could speak, the manager, Zhang Liner, smiled and helped explain, "Hello, you two. Our boss recently acquired this restaurant, and now it's all his." Because of the new ownership, she had to perform well to secure her position as manager. Thus, she immediately took the initiative, even sacrificing a little of her own comfort. After all, with such a wealthy boss, it wouldn't hurt to be in his good graces. This is real. Wang Bo and Wang Xinran couldn't help but gasp in shock. Especially Wang Bo, who stared wide-eyed, feeling that no matter how high his own exam scores were, it couldn't compare to this. After all, even if he got into a good university, he would have to work hard just to be on the same level as Jiang Feng. Wait a minute, did he think too much? Owning a hotpot restaurant with over 1,000 square meters, and dozens of employees in Jiangbei district, unimaginable. No wonder Jiang Feng didn't care about his scores. He didn't need to study at all. Meanwhile, Wang Xinran, after the initial shock, quickly calmed down and looked at Jiang Feng again. She felt her brother had become somewhat different. Chapter 5, Sister Surprise, has he gained more courage? At this moment, not only Wang Bo and Wang Xinran, but even the other guests at the nearby tables, had changed the way they looked at the group. He's so young, and yet he's already the owner of a hotpot restaurant. Yeah, he looks like he's not even 20 yet. Wow, that's a lot of money. This restaurant is really popular. I bet the yearly profit is at least a few million. I envy him. I've been working for years, and I can't even come up with a dowry of 100,000. Don't even talk about it. You can't afford a dowry. I don't even have a girlfriend. The guests in the restaurant were whispering among themselves, envious of this young owner who had achieved financial freedom at such a young age. Especially the girls, who quickly pulled out small mirrors from their bags and started carefully redoing their makeup. Even while eating, they were extra cautious about their appearance. Jiang Feng didn't mind their reactions. Instead, he turned his attention to Wang Xinran. "Sister, I'll treat for this meal. Don't be polite to your brother." Wang Xinran instinctively nodded, feeling like her brother had become even more handsome. "Thank you, little brother. You should eat more." As she spoke, she picked up a piece of beef kidney and fed it to Jiang Feng. This scene was seen by the girls around, and their hearts sank. They all knew they had no chance. After all, in front of Wang Xinran, neither their looks nor their figures could compare. The meal lasted until late, and when the three of them left the restaurant, the sky outside had already darkened. On their way back, Wang Xinran drove while Jiang Feng sat in the passenger seat. Wang Bo was in the back, acting like a curious little child and asking all kinds of questions. But Jiang Feng naturally didn't bring up the system. He just said that all the money was from his parents, and that he only found out after the college entrance exams that he was actually from a wealthy family. Wang Bo, hearing this, couldn't help but look up. "Sis, are we hiding something from me? Could I also be from a rich family?" "Hey, stop thinking about it," Wang Xinran said, focused on driving, not even wanting to entertain the thought. "Hey, no way. You all must be hiding something from me." Wang Bo decided he would ask his parents when he got home tonight, wondering if his family might also be some hidden wealthy family. Meanwhile, Jiang Feng was comfortably sitting in the passenger seat, and at that moment, his eyes suddenly lit up. "Don't ask, just know that Aunt Mai Jing was spending money again. Jiang Mai Jing purchased 5 cucumbers for 8 yuan, host receives a 10x cashback reward, total 80 yuan. Jiang Mai Jing purchased 5 eggplants for 6 yuan, host receives a 10x cashback reward, total 60 yuan. Jiang Mai Jing purchased 3 carrots for 5 yuan, host receives a 10x cashback reward, total 50 yuan. Jiang Mai Jing purchased 10 bananas for 15 yuan, host receives a 10x cashback reward, total 150 yuan. Jiang Feng glanced through the purchases, figuring that Aunt Mai Jing was probably planning to cook dinner tonight. Sure enough, girls are really careful about their diet to maintain their figures, especially with these green leafy vegetables that are great for skin and beauty. Jiang Feng couldn't help but marvel at how, now with the helping system, Aunt Mai Jing's secrets were all laid bare in front of him. This made him almost want to write a novel titled "Aunt, You Don't Want Your Daughter to Know Your Secrets, Do You?" Wait, Jiang Feng realized, he wasn't that kind of person. Taking a deep breath, he began to fantasize. If he could make a contract with the campus goddess in the future, that would be perfect. At this moment, Jiang Mai Jing was sitting alone on the edge of her bed, her reflection framed by the wardrobe, deep in thought. Earlier, she had been busy in the kitchen, immersed in the joy of cooking, but in an instant, she felt an unprecedented change, like the warm sun of spring melting the ice on a frozen lake, dissolving the winter's chill in an instant. Back in her bedroom, Jiang Mai Jing tried to calm herself, temporarily setting aside her confusion and doubts, trying to analyze what had happened. After a careful inspection, Jiang Mai Jing was stunned to realize that her skin seemed to have become younger. What's going on? This can't be right. She was filled with doubt, uncertain about what was happening. Though Jiang Mai Jing had always paid attention to health and wellness, keeping her body in great condition, such a change in her physical function was beyond her understanding. She pondered to herself, isn't it said that as you age, skin damage becomes harder to repair? But what's going on with me now? This question lingered in her mind like a mysterious fog, more perplexing by the moment. "Feng Ge, what are you laughing at?" Wang Bo looked at Jiang Feng in the car, feeling like something was off with him today. "It's nothing. I'm just thinking about my future," Jiang Feng said, then suddenly had a thought. He turned to Wang Bo, sitting in the back. "Xiao Bo, last time you mentioned you spent a lot of money on games. Your pocket money probably isn't enough, right? Do you need me to lend you some?" Jiang Feng raised an eyebrow, purposely trying to lead the conversation. The reason he said this was to test again whether the helping contract system could be activated. If it could, wouldn't that mean he could contract anyone in the future? After all, with a little intentional manipulation, who could resist such a temptation? Ding dong. You've received a new system message, please check. Jiang Feng saw the prompt and curiously clicked to view it. Warm tip. 1. This system needs to be triggered under normal conditions, and the hostess temptation-based approach is deemed ineffective. 2. The target must be an opposite gender person with an appearance rating of 90 plus. Same gender individuals cannot be contracted. Sure enough. Jiang Feng shook his head, not discouraged. After all, if he could induce others to seek help, that would defeat the purpose of helping and be a bit too OP. And if same-gender individuals could also be contracted, the bond between them would be too complicated. He shuddered just thinking about it. Shaking off those thoughts, Jiang Feng quickly moved on. He was satisfied with the current situation and knew that as long as he kept developing, he would eventually reach the top. Of course, he also knew he couldn't rush it. Phone GE, are you really going to lend me some money? Wang Bo asked, now a bit hopeful. He had spent so much on games recently, and if his good friend could lend him some, he could show off in the game with the girls. Wait, what did I just say? Jiang Feng pretended to forget. You said you'd lend me money for games. Wang Bo answered confidently. Not that part, the part before that. Jiang Feng shook his head. Let me think. Wang Bo recalled seriously, earlier I said you were acting mysterious, and you answered that you were thinking about life. Exactly. Jiang Feng nodded seriously. No, Feng Ji. Wang Bo was stunned. He couldn't figure it out and felt like he had missed a big opportunity. Phut tilde. At this moment, Wang Xinran, who hadn't spoken before, suddenly laughed, her chest rising and falling. Jiang Feng, sitting close by, caught a glimpse from the side. The white fabric of her clothes was unforgettable. All right, you two, stop fooling around, we're almost home, Wang Xinran said, unaware of Jiang Feng's gaze, and even if she had noticed, she wouldn't have minded. She was just reminding them as they were nearing the neighborhood. Okay, just park at the entrance of the community, Jiang Feng said, then smiled. Thanks, sister. Let us hang out again sometime. Millimeter hum. Go home and rest early today, Wang Xinran replied, parking at the community entrance and looking at Jiang Feng with concern. Got it, I'm getting out now. Jiang Feng opened his arms for a warm hug from Wang Xinran, then leisurely opened the car door and stepped out. This scene left Wang Bo in the backseat stunned. How is this even possible? Even Wang Xinran, who was being hugged, was caught off guard. She realized that Jiang Feng seemed to have really changed, especially his courage. Chapter 6, Aunt Mai Jing Can't Sleep. At 6 o'clock in the evening, Jiang Feng just got home. He took a shower first, changed into home pajamas, then lay comfortably on the bed and started browsing his phone. He is usually alone at home because his parents are busy and often have to go on business trips. As for what they were doing specifically, they didn't tell Jiang Feng, and Jiang Feng didn't ask. Anyway, I give him money on time every month, and this kind of life is pretty good. Unlike Wang Bo, his parents are very strict and he has no freedom at all. However, now that the college entrance examination results are out, Jiang Feng still has to tell his parents. Then he edited a message and sent it to his parents. If it were in the past, Jiang Feng would definitely feel guilty at this time. After all, the score was too low. But it doesn't matter now. He has the ability to make more money and give his parents a better life in the future. Then he can buy a big house and bring them over to enjoy life. Thinking of this, Jiang Feng quickly summoned the system in his mind. Host, Jiang Feng, age, 18, height, 178 centimeters, weight, 73 kilograms. Level number of contractors, stubborn bronze I-13. Physical fitness, 60 mainly refers to health status. Energy, 60 mainly refers to endurance. Charm, 60 including appearance, temperament, and affinity, calculated after comprehensive calculation. Skills, none. Props, none. Fixed assets, Mar Ju Ji Hot Pot Restaurant. Cash, 1,340 yuan. Remark. 1. The host can upgrade by continuously contracting new characters and obtain various generous rewards when conditions are met. 2. Generally speaking, the initial value for adults is 60. 3. The current attribute panel is not perfect. As the host level increases, new information will be continuously obtained. After looking at the system interface in front of him, Jiang Feng confirmed that everything was real. However, at this time, his level was only a stubborn bronze, and the only person he had a contract with was Aunt Mai Jing. It seems that in the future, I still have to help others, then continue to contract new characters, and finally get rewards from them. Anyway, the more people sign contracts, the more money he will make. As for now, Jiang Feng is going to wait for Aunt Mai Jing, hoping that she can spend more money. Lying on the big bed, he started watching TikTok videos. For some reason, the short plays recommended to him by Big Data recently were all about the crooked-mouthed Dragon King. He was a little curious, do people really watch this stuff? An hour later, Jiang Feng had watched more than 30 episodes in a row and spent more than 10 yuan on recharging. I have to say, this thing is really good for killing time. At this moment, the system sounded a pleasant reminder sound again. Ding dong. Jiang Meijing bought a box of papaya yogurt for 65 yuan, and the host received a 10-fold cashback reward, a total of 650 yuan. Jiang Meijing bought 12 yellow glutinous corn cobs for 50 yuan, and the host received a 10-fold cashback reward, a total of 500 yuan. Jiang Meijing bought a box of original grilled sausages for 78 yuan, and the host received a 10-fold cashback reward, a total of 780 yuan. Jiang Meijing bought 10 bags of organic herbal Tremella fusiformis for 130 yuan, and the host received a 10-fold cashback reward, a total of 1,300 yuan. Jiang Feng took a quick look and saw that they were all snacks and specialties. I have to say that Aunt Mai Jing really loves shopping. She spent 323 yuan in just a short time. Of course, Jiang Feng also received a 10-fold cashback, totaling 3,230 yuan. This amount of money is definitely a considerable income for him. Especially since this was only the first day of the binding. If this continued every day, his wealth would definitely grow rapidly like a snowball. Jiang Meijing bought a thermos bottle for 189 yuan, and the host received a 10-fold cashback reward, a total of 1,890 yuan. Jiang Meijing bought a storage cabinet for 257 yuan, and the host received a 10-fold cashback reward, a total of 2,570 yuan. Jiang Meijing bought a mulberry silk quilt for 459 yuan, and the host received a 10-fold cashback reward, a total of 4,590 yuan. Jiang Feng's eyes lit up. Aunt Mai Jing was buying things again. It turns out that women are born to love shopping. At this time, they should be watching online shopping live broadcasts, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't have ordered so many things in such a short time. Jiang Feng checked and found that Aunt Mai Jing spent 905 yuan on shopping this time. After a 10-fold cashback, he got 9,050 yuan. I have to say, Aunt Mai Jing is a bit of a spendthrift. Although all the things I bought were indeed needed by the family, at the end of the day, the total cost was more than 1,000 yuan. Ding dong. Jiang Meijing character level increased to LV3 1362 9999. Congratulations to their host for obtaining a Jiang Meijing modification point. Currently remaining points: 1. Extra reward, Sanju Oral Liquid. Hey, what is this Sanju Oral Liquid? Jiang Feng was a little curious and carefully looked at the detailed information of the reward. Sanju Oral Liquid, after the host uses it, it can strengthen the physical fitness and randomly increase the physique value by 15 points. It can actually directly improve your physical condition. Jiang Feng was a little impatient. This thing was absolutely priceless, so he chose to drink it directly. Almost at the same time, a hot feeling spread throughout his body, making him feel as if he was soaking in a hot spring. The steaming spring water was washing over his whole body again and again. The whole process was extremely refreshing, just like a professional massage in a private room on the 3rd floor of a bath center. Before he knew it, Jiang Feng fell asleep on the bed. On the other hand, Jiang Meijing was in a situation completely opposite to Jiang Feng. It was late at night and the clock had quietly slipped past 2 in the morning, but she was still tossing and turning, unable to fall asleep peacefully. The bright moonlight shone through the gaps in the curtains onto the head of the bed, illuminating her eyes full of confusion and worry. When Jiang Meijing returned home tonight, she felt an indescribable feeling that made her mind wander. She tried to calm herself down in various ways, but reading, listening to music or meditating could not dispel the anxiety and uneasiness that lingered in her heart. In this silent night, Jiang Meijing repeatedly thought about her recent life situation, trying to find the root of this strange emotion. For many years since her divorce, she has kept her life in order and has protected her physical and mental health with a strict and self-disciplined attitude, which made her even more puzzled by her abnormal behavior tonight. After some inner struggle and self-examination, Jiang Meijing made a decision to go to the hospital for a comprehensive physical examination tomorrow no matter what. After all, even though you have always maintained healthy living habits, occasional minor physical problems cannot be ignored. She silently comforted herself in her heart, even if there is no problem, at least she can feel at ease. That night, Jiang Meijing spent a long time worrying about the unknown, waiting for the dawn, hoping to get an answer from the doctor. Chapter 7, Physical Improvement, Accompany Sister to Buy a Car? The next day, at 9 o'clock in the morning, Jiang Feng slept until he woke up naturally. After getting up, he felt refreshed and full of energy. This oral liquid is really good, it takes away all my fatigue. In order to prepare for the college entrance examination, he went out early and came back late every day, staying up late to study hard. Although the results were not that good, I had completed all the necessary procedures and I was still very tired. Even after taking many days off during the holidays, I still haven't adjusted to a perfect state. Now, after drinking the Sanju oral liquid, Jiang Feng can feel that not only his physical condition has improved, but even his height seems to have increased. Thinking of this, he quickly checked his personal information. Host, Jiang Feng, age, 18, height, 179 centimeters, weight, 75 kilograms. Level number of contractors, stubborn bronze I13. Physical fitness, 60 plus 5 mainly refers to health status. Energy, 60 mainly refers to durability. Charm, 60 including appearance, temperament, and affinity, calculated after comprehensive calculation. Skills, none. Props, none. Warehouse, character, Zhao Mai Jing, modification points 1. Fixed assets, Mar Ju Ji Hot Pot Restaurant. Cash, 13,620 yuan. Jiang Feng felt very satisfied. His height increased from 178 centimeters to 179 centimeters, and his physical fitness also increased by 5 points. Although it doesn't seem like a lot of points, the transformation to the body is still huge. Moreover, he has just started now. There will be many opportunities for transformation in the future, and the improvements will be even more multifaceted. So now, Jiang Feng is even more looking forward to Aunt Mai Jing spending more money. At this moment, his mobile phone suddenly received a new message. Jiang Feng took the phone and it turned out to be a message from Wang Xinran. Brother, are you awake? Yeah, just woke up. Jiang Feng replied. Are you free today? My sister wants to buy a car this time. Do you and Xiaobo want to come and have a look? Wang Xinran studied finance and stayed in Qianfu after graduating from university, working in a related field. Although this industry pays well, it is very busy and I don't have much time to go home. So this time she thought about buying a car for herself so that it would be more convenient for her to travel back and forth in the future. Otherwise, it would not be very convenient to drive the family car all the time. Sure, let's go and have a look together. Jiang Feng didn't have anything to do, so he naturally wouldn't refuse. Okay, then it's noon. I'll pick you up at the gate of the community. Wang Xinran said somewhat happily. Yeah, see you later. Jiang Feng nodded. There were still a few hours until noon, and he thought he could play games for a while. At this time, Wang Bo also sent him a message. Wang Bo, brother Feng, we're going to the 4S store to look at cars later. Did my sister tell you? Jiang Feng, I said it, what's wrong? Wang Bo, it's okay, I'm the last one to know. Jiang Feng, oh, don't cry, crying is useless. Wang Bo, brother Feng, you really know how to comfort people. He felt like he was stabbed again, but fortunately he had gotten used to it after so many years. The two chatted for a while and then teamed up to play games together. At noon, Jiang Feng packed up and went out. At the gate of the community, Wang Xinran drove over to pick him up. In addition to Wang Bo, there was also an unfamiliar girl sitting in the car. Brother, let me introduce you to my best friend Liu Qian. Wang Xinran introduced with a smile. Hello, my name is Jiang Feng. Jiang Feng took the initiative to say hello. Hello, my name is Liu Qian. Liu Qian responded with a smile, and then continued, I heard from Xinran a long time ago that she has a cute brother, and today I finally saw him. Oh, sort of. Jiang Feng smiled but did not deny it. Wang Bo next to him opened his mouth, then closed it consciously. Then, the few of them set off for their destination, the Jiangbei Star Mercedes-Benz 4S store in Jiangbei district, while chatting. After some selection, Wang Xinran liked the Mercedes-Benz E-Class very much, especially the entry-level model, which was reasonably priced and looked good. So in order to save time, she decided to go directly to the Mercedes-Benz 4S store. She was completely different from other girls who might have to pick and choose and hesitate for a long time. At around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a group of 4 arrived at the Jiangbei Star Mercedes-Benz 4S store. Hello, are you guys here to look at the car? As soon as I entered the door, a salesperson came out to greet me. Well, I want to see the latest E-Class model. Wang Xinran nodded in response. Okay, then please follow me. The saleswoman's name was Li Xuemei. When she saw a few young people coming to look at cars, although she didn't appear to be rude to them, her tone wasn't very enthusiastic. This is normal, mainly because they all look too young. As a veteran in the workplace, Li Xuemei felt that it was difficult for the other party to help her improve her performance. So her tone was a little colder, but not too arrogant, just a business-like tone. After all, in 4S stores of high-end brands, people pay more attention to the company image. "Madam, what is our budget?" Li Xuemei led the way in front and asked in detail. "About 400,000. Wang Xinran responded. "Okay, then I recommend you take a look at our E300L. When Li Xuemei heard the other party's budget, she immediately became enthusiastic. This model has launched a sports version this year. It looks very young and fashionable. It is very suitable for a girl like you to drive. Let's take a look first." Wang Xinran nodded. She had also seen this model online before and liked its appearance very much. As for the budget, she has about 400,000 yuan in her hand, so it shouldn't be a problem if she wants to buy the entry-level item. Then the group came to the booth, where a black Mercedes-Benz E300L was parked. The exterior design of this car is very beautiful. It adopts Mercedes-Benz's latest sports-style design. The streamlined design of the body is combined with the gorgeous front face, giving people a noble and dynamic visual enjoyment. The female salesperson explained in detail and patiently, introducing all the functions of the car. "Madam, is there anything else you would like to know?" Li Xuemei asked with a smile. "There's nothing else to ask, just the price of the car and whether there are any discounts available now." Wang Xinran asked back. "Let me help you take a look at this sports version of the Mercedes-Benz E300L. The suggested retail price is 428,000 yuan, but now it only costs 388,000 yuan, which is a big discount. In addition, you will also get some gifts." After Li Xuemei finished speaking, she made a list of gifts. However, Wang Xinran did not reply. Instead, he turned around and looked at the people behind him, asking for their opinions. "What do you think?" "Xinran, this car is really fashionable after the facelift. It's totally fine for girls to drive it." Liu Qian responded first, saying that she felt it was pretty good. "I think it's okay. Apart from being a little expensive, there's nothing wrong with it." Wang Bo also echoed. "There's nothing wrong with the car, but the price is a bit high." Jiang Feng blinked, looked at Wang Xinran and said, "I remember the price quoted by the last store was cheaper. If that doesn't work, let's go back there." "Well, let's go back and take a look." Wang Xinran reacted quickly and realized that Jiang Feng wanted to help her get more discounts. At this moment, she felt warm in her heart. Her younger brother is still the best. Chapter 8: Aunt Meijing's Physical Examination Package. "Sorry, please sit here for a while. We can discuss the discounts." Li Xuemei could see that the other party really wanted to buy a car. She immediately became more enthusiastic, and naturally didn't want to let the customer go to other stores. "I will ask the leader for instructions. Please wait a moment." After arriving at the rest area, Li Xuemei first took a few bottles of Evian mineral water, then turned around and went to the manager's office at the back. For general sales staff, their authority is limited and they often have to apply to their superiors. However, for those customers who are very interested in buying a car, the store will basically give some extra discounts. "Xinran, your brother is really good. He helps you save money." After the female salesperson left, Liu Qian couldn't help but start teasing her. "Yeah, after all, he's my brother, so naturally he has to help me save money." Wang Xinran responded with a smile. Although she did bring up the discount in the end, it was obvious that the effect would not be as good as if the two of them worked together. In fact, 4S stores have many discounts, and we need to fight for them ourselves. Jiang Feng explained, just like the salesperson just now, when he comes back after asking for the price, he doesn't give us the lowest price. We can at least lower the price once more. At this time, even Wang Bo looked at him with some admiration. Why couldn't he think of these things? He had been staring at the saleswoman's legs all the way here, and didn't pay attention to anything else. Then the few of them started chatting again, all waiting for the saleswoman's result. But at this moment, Jiang Feng's attention shifted to the system. Ding dong! Zhao Meijing purchased a full body checkup package 1, spending 8,800 yuan, and the host received a 10-fold cashback reward, a total of 88,000 yuan. What happened? Jiang Feng suddenly heard the system prompt sound and was stunned for a moment. Aunt Mai Jing really knows how to spend money. She bought a lot of things last night, and now she has spent such a large sum of money again not long after. But this time I bought a physical examination package, which is also a necessary expense. But this was too sudden. He just adjusted his points yesterday and came for a physical examination today. So this matter couldn't be related to me, right? At this moment, Zhao Meijing was sitting in the bright and quiet waiting area of the hospital's physical examination center, surrounded by a busy and orderly scene. She was wearing a simple and comfortable sportswear, with a nervous and expectant expression on her face, and was undergoing various precise physical examinations one by one. When the doctor handed her a stack of detailed physical examination reports, a look of surprise appeared on her face. The report shows that Zhao Meijing's physiological data all meet health standards and even surpass most of her peers. Especially in terms of biological age, according to the evaluation of the high-precision human physiological age tester, her physical age is only equivalent to that of a young person in her 20s. While interpreting the report, the doctor cast envious glances at Zhao Meijing from time to time, praising her repeatedly. "Ms. Zhao, you are in very good physical condition. All the values show that you have a very high level of health and vitality." However, faced with these gratifying data, Zhao Meijing was somewhat confused. She repeatedly reviewed the physical examination form in her hand. Her recent feelings were not wrong. There was indeed something wrong with her body, but there was nothing wrong with it in the report. Thinking of this, Zhao Meijing couldn't help but fall into deep thought. At the same time, a new prompt sound came in Jiang Feng's mind. Ding dong. Zhao Meijing character level increased to LV41016299,999. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a modification point. Currently remaining points, 2. Extra reward, all shares of Yuqing Jiang-based Star Mercedes-Benz for S store. After seeing this reward, Jiang Feng was stunned for a moment. Isn't this the 4S store where I work? He quickly took out the map on his phone and checked the location information, and it was indeed this store. As the largest Mercedes-Benz for S store in Yuqing City, this store is very good in terms of reputation and credibility. Now with the System S reward, Jiang Feng obtained all the shares and became the big boss of this store. Yuqing City, Jiang-based Star Mercedes-Benz for S store. Li Xuemei came to the office area and prepared to find the manager to apply for a car purchase discount. At this moment, a figure suddenly rushed out in a hurry. Generally speaking, the office area is very quiet and no one would rush around recklessly. Li Xuemei frowned, thinking that it was a new employee who didn't know the rules of the office. However, when she looked up, she found that the person was not a new employee, but the store manager Sun Shimao. What's going on? After seeing that it was the manager, Li Xuemei naturally didn't dare to say anything more. But she still felt a little strange. The manager was not like this normally. Could something have happened? At this time, Sun Shimao hurried to the office area and spoke to everyone. "Everyone, please pay attention. We have a piece of news to announce now. Our store has been bought by someone. That is to say, we have a new boss. You should cheer up these few days. The new boss may come to inspect, and everyone should greet the new boss with the best appearance. By the way, I'll send some information about the new boss to everyone in the work group. Remember to take a good look at it and remember it for me, so that you don't offend the boss and get fired. I won't be able to do anything about it." After hearing what the manager said, all the employees took out their phones and checked the group messages for information about their new boss. Li Xuemei is no exception. She has no time to ask for discounts now. After all, in a private company like this, whether an employee stays or leaves is up to the boss's decision. Therefore, the top priority now is to understand the new boss' situation to prevent accidentally offending him in the future. When Li Xuemei saw the photo of the new boss in the information, he found that he looked very similar to one of the 4 young men she had just received, so similar that they could even be said to be exactly the same. And looking at the information on the profile, it shows that the other party is only 18 years old, which seems to be completely consistent. For a moment, Li Xuemei was stunned, and her phone fell to the ground because she didn't hold it firmly. With a loud bang, the attention of people nearby was drawn. Sun Shimao frowned and said unhappily, "What's going on? The boss hasn't even arrived yet, and you're so scared." Li Xuemei quickly picked up the phone and stuttered, "Boss Sun, the customer I just received seems to be the new boss." "What? After hearing this, everyone was stunned. Sun Shimao's face changed and he was a little scared. But he reacted faster and said immediately, "Quick, take me to see it." Chapter 9, Sister is Touched. At this moment in the rest area of the 4S store, soft light shines on the exquisite furniture and decorations, creating a warm and elegant atmosphere. Wang Xinran and Liu Qian were leaning on the comfortable sofa, flipping through fashion car magazines in their hands, exclaiming in admiration from time to time, and discussing with great interest the models with stylish designs and smooth lines. On the other hand, Jiang Feng and Wang Bo have a special liking for the tougher Mercedes-Benz G. The two took the driving test together last summer, but having a license is one thing, and when to buy a car is another. Although they are already licensed, the goal of buying a car still seems a bit far-fetched for ordinary students. Just as several people were discussing with each other, the tranquility in the rest area was broken by a burst of hurried footsteps. Because Wang Bo was sitting facing inward, he happened to see this scene. I saw a middle-aged man in a suit, walking steadily and quickly, followed by a dozen staff members with outstanding temperament, including the female salesperson who had just received them, walking straight towards where I was. What's going on? Wang Bo's heart tightened and he subconsciously clenched the disposable water cup in his hand, and his breathing instantly became a little rapid. He thought to himself, could it be that these people are here to find me? Wait, I don't know them, and their family is not rich. In the midst of this doubt, Wang Bo suddenly had a sense of déjà vu, as if this scene had appeared in a certain scene before. Hey, what's wrong? Jiang Feng, who was beside him, keenly noticed something strange about his friend and turned to look towards the source of the sound. At this moment, manager Sun Shimao had walked quickly forward. With his sharp eyes, he recognized Jiang Feng's identity at a glance. Although this young man is dressed in a low-key manner, it cannot conceal his innate nobility and composure. Sun Shimao had previously learned from an internal document that Jiang Feng in front of him was no ordinary person. He is a second-generation rich man who has just finished the college entrance examination. Although he is young, he already possesses an astonishing amount of wealth. And recently it has made large investments in many fields, demonstrating extraordinary business acumen and courage. Now that he saw him in person, Sun Shimao immediately showed great respect and enthusiasm. He bowed slightly and greeted sincerely and respectfully, "Hello, boss. Welcome to take time out of your busy schedule to come to the store and give us guidance." This scene immediately attracted the attention of everyone in the store. Everyone was shocked that the boss of such a big 4S store was so young. Wang Xinran, Wang Bo and Liu Qian looked at each other, all too surprised to express themselves in words, their mouths wide open, as if frozen by the scene before them. The 4S store they were in was large in scale and luxuriously decorated. They were originally discussing enthusiastically that the boss who could run such a store must have extraordinary strength behind him. However, they never expected that the owner of this store was actually Jiang Feng. Liu Qian's eyes widened in disbelief. She lowered her voice and asked with a hint of disbelief, "Xinran, your brother actually hid it so deeply?" Wang Xinran was slightly stunned and shook his head gently. His heart was in turmoil and his emotions could not calm down for a long time. Her eyes moved around, looking at everything in the store that was busy and orderly with a slightly complicated expression, and she responded, "I really don't know." All along, she only remembered the little boy who grew up silently behind her and sometimes needed protection, but she never expected that he would grow into such a remarkable person today. Wang Xinran felt both happy and conflicted. She was not surprised by Jiang Feng's current identity as a rich second generation. After all, people are always growing and changing. But she realized that perhaps from now on, the younger brother who once depended on her might really no longer need her protection. Wang Xinran felt a slight sense of loss in her heart, but she was also relieved by Jiang Feng's change. This subtle feeling of intertwined emotions quietly spread in her heart, so that at this moment, when she was standing in the bright and spacious 4S shop, there was a hint of tenderness and emotion in her eyes that was not easily noticed by others. Soon, Wang Xinran's eyes gradually calmed down from the surprise. She turned to look at Wang Bo who was sitting next to her and asked, "Why didn't you tell me these things earlier?" Wang Bo was caught off guard by this sudden question. He scratched the back of his head subconsciously and responded innocently, "I really just found out about this today. Please don't wrongly accuse me." He was no less shocked than the others, in fact even more so. After all, the friend who grew up together suddenly became a low-key rich second generation, which made Wang Bo feel indescribable. This feeling cannot be called jealousy, but envy is certainly inevitable. Wang Bo decided that he must find a suitable opportunity to have a good talk with his parents about this matter when he got home tonight. Maybe, I am also a rich second generation, but they have been hiding it. On the other side, Jiang Feng was much calmer. At the same time as he received the system reward, he received the transfer agreement of this store on his mobile phone. The name written on it clearly stated that Jiang Feng was the new owner of this store. In addition to the transfer agreement, there is also some store information, including employee information, fixed assets, and profitability. You don't know until you see it. It's shocking. Although this store is not a chain operation, if the fixed assets are included, it is worth at least 800 to 900 million yuan. If we include the previous hotpot restaurant, Jiang Feng's current wealth can be said to be quite astonishing. Many thoughts flashed through his mind, but Jiang Feng remained calm on the surface. He took a look at the employee information and realized that the person in front of him was the manager of the store. Well, I just wanted to take a stroll, but I didn't expect you to recognize me. Good job. Jiang Feng had the experience of the last time at the hot pot restaurant, so he was more calm now. Thank you, boss. This is what Xiao Sun should do. Sun Shimao quickly bent down and looked at Jiang Feng with a smile on his face. After all, this is the first meeting, and he must leave a good impression on the boss. Even though he is a generation older than Jiang Feng, he still has to call himself Xiao Sun. Well, let the others go and do their work, you stay for a while. Jiang Feng saw that there were too many people around, so he called Sun Shimao over alone. Okay, boss. Sun Shimao first turned around and told everyone else to disperse, then he respectfully came to Jiang Feng. It's like this. I'm here with my sister to buy a car today, and I've already found a car I like. Jiang Feng paused and continued, you can just arrange the formalities, and you don't have to collect the money. Just put it in my account. Understood. No problem. Sun Shimao nodded and agreed quickly without any hesitation. After all, the whole store belonged to him, so naturally he could make any decision he wanted. He immediately told Li Xuemei behind him to go over and arrange the formalities. Wang Bo and Liu Qian standing next to them were so stunned when they saw this. Could this car be given away just like that? At this time, Wang Xinran was still a little confused and didn't react at all. She was a little sad at first, worried that her brother would become estranged from her in the future, but now he directly gave her a car. After a long while, she waved her hand and said, no, brother, even if it's your shop, I still have to pay. It's okay. My sister has taken good care of me since I was a child. This is just a small token of my appreciation. Jiang Feng responded with a smile. That won't work either. I can't accept something so valuable. Wang Xinran shook her head firmly, still feeling that it was inappropriate. After all, it was not a small amount of money. She didn't want to take advantage of her brother, although she had done so many times before, but this time was different. How about this, we can give you a 50% discount and give you some extra gifts. After Jiang Feng finished speaking, he did not give Wang Xinran a chance to refuse. He looked directly at the manager Sun Shimao and ordered, is there a car in stock? Go and arrange for someone to handle it. Okay, there's a car in stock, I'll arrange it right away. Sun Shimao nodded quickly. Originally, it takes some time to wait from signing the contract to finally picking up the car at the 4S store, especially for Mercedes-Benz models, which takes at least 3 months. But now with Jiang Feng's instructions, there is no need to wait any longer and the car can be picked up directly from the store. Wang Xinran was feeling very complicated at this time. She never expected that one day she would need her younger brother to take care of her. There was a hint of complex emotions in her eyes when she looked at Jiang Feng, and a hint of warmth rose in her heart. Chapter 10 Exclusive Service, Beautiful Li Shahan. After Jiang Feng had arranged all these, he thought that since he was at the 4S store, he might as well order a car for himself. He had already passed the driving test during the previous holiday, so there was no problem with driving. By the way, Manager Sun, do you have any big G in the store? Jiang Feng looked at Sun Shimao again and asked. Boss, I'm so sorry. Sun Shimao quickly explained, it was just sold out a few days ago. We don't have any cars in stock now. If you need it, I will order it right away. Well, go order one then. Jiang Feng nodded and said lightly. Okay, I will definitely order a car as soon as possible and deliver it to you as soon as possible. Sun Shimao patted his chest and made a promise. As a store manager for so many years, he naturally knows how to please the boss. Now he has tried his best to make Jiang Feng satisfied. Boss, since you're here today, would you like to pick out a mobility scooter in the store first? After Sun Shimao finished speaking, he began to introduce other models in the store. Alright, I think this is it. Arrange another one for me. Jiang Feng pointed at the E300L. He liked it and was too lazy to pick any other ones. Anyway, it's just a temporary means of transportation, and I'll switch to the G-Class when it arrives. Okay, wait a moment, I'll help you with the formalities. Sun Shimao was very capable. After he finished speaking, he instructed the staff behind him to complete the car pickup procedures as quickly as possible. Of course, he did not forget to take Jiang Feng and his group to the VLP VIP area to rest first. After all, customers will be bored while waiting to pick up the car, so 4S stores usually have exclusive VIP areas that can provide customers with entertainment, leisure, catering and other services. Under the leadership of manager Sun Shimao, Jiang Feng and several others came here together. Oh my god, the VIP area inside is so big. Wang Bo was a little shocked. Not only are there free fresh fruit drinks available here, but there are also fully automatic massage chairs, private cinemas and other facilities. They even provide manicure services for the ladies, while the men can enjoy the esports room, which is equipped with high-end computers and the latest PS5 game consoles. After arriving here, Wang Xinran and Liu Qian were immediately attracted by the manicure. They said hello and went to make an appointment for manicure. Jiang Feng and Wang Bo went straight to the esports room. The two sat in front of the computer and teamed up to play the PC version of PUBG. Boss, I'll go and supervise them in going through the formalities first, and I'll ask others to come and serve you later. Manager Sun Shimao stood aside and said respectfully. Okay, go ahead and get busy. Jiang Feng nodded, concentrating on the screen in front of him, not being disturbed by the outside world at all. About 10 minutes later, there was a knock on the door outside the VIP room. Enter Tilda. Jiang Feng greeted casually. He had already logged into the game and was not paying much attention to what was happening around him. Wang Bo was more curious, so he looked back. Then, Wang Bo's expression was stunned. At this moment, he had no idea how to describe it, mainly because he had never seen such a beautiful girl before. Hello. Coming back to his senses, Wang Bo quickly greeted him, but he kept stuttering while speaking. Hello. The girl nodded politely in response, then looked in Jiang Feng's direction. Boss, is there anything I can do for you? Her voice is very sweet and sounds tingling. But at this moment, Jiang Feng's attention was all on the game. No, go ahead and get busy. It's okay, I'll just stand here. The girl did not leave, but just stood quietly behind and watched Jiang Feng play games. Hiss. It was rejected. Wang Bo saw this and was immediately filled with envy. This world is so unfair. Why do I greet people so politely but end up being ignored? Look at Jiang Feng again. Although he is only busy playing games, girls are willing to wait by his side. Shaking his head, Wang Bo could only withdraw his thoughts and numb himself by throwing himself back into the game. 10 minutes later, the screen displayed, "Good luck, let's eat chicken tonight." At the end of this game, the team that Jiang Feng and Wang Bo were in won the game. Jiang Feng was immersed in the excitement after the first game. When he was about to devote himself to the second game, he suddenly realized that there seemed to be someone standing behind him. Then he turned his head and his eyes happened to fall on a tall girl. She was wearing a well-tailored work top, the fabric of which was tough yet delicate, and it formed a clever match with the hip-hugging miniskirt, outlining a graceful and undulating curve. What is particularly eye-catching is the pair of slender legs, which are vaguely visible under a layer of black stockings, adding a bit of mysterious temptation. Jiang Feng's gaze involuntarily moved up along the girl's body lines, and finally stopped at the bear's mouth, where there was a cute pattern decoration, adding a touch of playfulness and vitality to her outfit. This detail gave Jiang Feng a deeper understanding of the girl in front of him. Not only did she have a stunning appearance, but her figure also undoubtedly showed her real charm. At this moment, his gaze inadvertently moved slightly to the right, where there was a blue work name card with 3 delicate song-style characters printed on it. Li Shihan. Boss. Li Shihan noticed Jiang Feng's gaze and interrupted him shyly. Oh, what is it? Jiang Feng withdrew his gaze, his expression still very calm. He said that he just wanted to see the girl's name and it had no other meaning at all. I don't know if the other party would believe this explanation if they knew it. Boss, I'm here mainly to see if you need anything. Just tell me to do it anytime. Li Shahan has a nice voice and speaks sweetly. It's okay, just go ahead and do your work. I'll call you if there's anything else. Jiang Feng waved his hand and acted like a boss. But, manager Sun just told me that if I don't serve you here, my salary will be deducted. Li Shahan explained nervously, her bright eyes fixed on Jiang Feng, afraid of being driven away. She just graduated from college this year, and because she majored in business administration, it is difficult for her to find a suitable job. And even if there were some clerical positions, the salary was not very high, so she came to this for S store and applied for a car sales position. She just started working this month and is still in the probation period. Just now, Li Shahan, who was helping in the back, was called out. Manager Sun specifically told her to serve the boss well. In this way, Li Shahan came to the VIP room and stood behind Jiang Feng to watch a game. Deducting wages? Manager Sun, this is wrong. I will criticize him later. Jiang Feng said seriously. But what he was thinking in his heart was, Lao Sun is not an honest person, why didn't he call such a beautiful girl over earlier? Achoo! Sun Shimao, who was busy at this time, suddenly sneezed. What's going on? Could it be that the boss is dissatisfied with me? Then he quickly asked someone to go to the VIP room to take a look at the situation inside. Sun Shimao only breathed a sigh of relief after the staff came back and confirmed that Li Shahan had stayed. Chapter 11, Hands-on Teaching and Taking Photos. In the spacious and quiet VIP lounge, soft lights cast a peaceful halo. Li Shahan was wearing a professional suit and standing obediently behind Jiang Feng. She was like a gentle painting, so quiet that one could almost hear the sound of her heartbeat. Jiang Feng turned around and looked at her slightly nervous and helpless expression, and couldn't help but want to laugh. He waved his hand gently, motioning Li Shahan to come over. Don't stand there, let's play a game together. Hearing this, Li Shahan's eyes revealed a trace of embarrassment. Boss, I have never played this before, I'm afraid I'll hold you back. It's okay. I'll take care of everything. Jiang Feng smiled and said, you can follow me and learn from me later. I will teach you slowly and I guarantee that you will be able to get the hang of it soon. Well, I'll learn it first. Li Shahan nodded slightly, but was still a little nervous, with her fingers clenched tightly together, appearing at a loss. Jiang Feng saw it and took action immediately. He stretched out his hand, gently placed it on the back of Li Shahan's hand, and with a warm smile, began to teach her how to operate it step by step. It's very simple. I'll teach you the basic operation. First, put your middle finger on the W key and your index finger on the D key. Jiang Feng personally taught Li Shahan some basic operating methods. Wang Bo saw this scene from the side and his eyes turned red with envy. Oh, it's great to have money. The beautiful girl not only takes the initiative to serve you, but also plays games with you. I am really envious. At this time, Jiang Feng had satisfied his desire. Li Shahan's fingers are white, smooth, and feel great to the touch, making people want to put them down. Under Jiang Feng's guidance, she has basically mastered how to play the game. Then they started the official game. Li Shahan followed Jiang Feng closely throughout the whole process and successfully played the role of a medic. Finally, after a fierce battle, relying on Jiang Feng's outstanding performance, their team won the first game. Boss, you are so awesome. The game was over. Li Shahan looked at Jiang Feng with admiration. It's okay. I'm quite talented at playing games. Jiang Feng was not bragging. There is a reason why he scored 280 points in the college entrance examination, that is because he basically did not study much, but spent all his time playing games. Of course, he would never tell this to girls, otherwise it would affect his image in their hearts. Brother Feng, how about we talk about studying? Wang Bo smiled obscenely at the side, deliberately bringing up something that was not related to the topic. Ahem, this kid is incorrigible. Jiang Feng rolled his eyes at him and said, you're already driving a Mercedes-Benz G-Class, so why are you still talking to me about studying? I think studying is not important. Society needs more comprehensive development capabilities. Li Shahan looked at Jiang Feng and said, just like you, boss. Not only are you talented in playing games, but you can also manage such a large company. You are really amazing. Wang Bo. He felt like his heart had suffered 10,000 points of critical hit. Is there any justice in this world? What's so great about being rich? Well, it's really great to be rich. As expected, once you have money, academic performance is no longer important, and all the pretty girls will surround you. Wang Bo sighed in his heart. He would go home tonight and ask his dad why he was not a rich second generation. Shahan, you performed well. I'll ask manager Sun to give you a raise later. Jiang Feng is very satisfied with Li Shahan. Such an excellent employee should be trained intensively. Thank you, boss. Li Shahan didn't expect that she would get a salary increase just because she played games with her boss for a while. Before she came, she was actually a little nervous. But now after getting to know him, I feel that the boss is really nice. Come on, let's continue playing. Jiang Feng greeted him and continued with the next game. Only after they had completed the procedures for picking up the car did they end their PUBG journey today and leave the VIP room. Of course, before leaving, Jiang Feng added Li Shahan's prestige, and the two agreed to play games together when they had time. Wang Bo saw this and felt even more envious. Why is there such a big gap between us now even though we have been playing together since childhood? Jiang Bei Star Mercedes-Benz for S Store. Manager Sun Shimao helped Jiang Feng and Wang Xinran complete all the procedures as quickly as possible. Two brand new Mercedes-Benz E300 LS with good license plates were parked in front of the 4S store. Jiang Feng took a quick look and expressed his satisfaction. He still recognized Sun Shimao's ability to do things. Boss, do you want to take a photo? Sun Shimao asked considerately. Generally in such 4S stores, there are professional photographers to take photos of customers, which is an important part of satisfying customers' sense of ceremony. Jiang Feng actually had no interest in taking pictures, but he thought that girls might like this kind of activity, so he looked at Wang Xinran and said, Sister Xinran, do you want to take a picture? Sure enough, Wang Xinran's eyes flickered with anticipation, and she quickly nodded and replied, Brother, let's take a photo together. Unlike others, Wang Xinran didn't want a sense of ceremony, she just wanted to take a photo with Jiang Feng. As soon as she finished speaking, she walked over happily and gently took Jiang Feng's hand. Jiang Feng didn't like taking pictures at first, but he couldn't resist his sister's soft hands, so he gave in. At this time, Liu Qian shouted exaggeratedly, Hey, what about me? What about me? You are too biased. You only want to take pictures with your brother and don't even take me with you? Wang Bo followed closely behind him with a look of complaint on his face. What about me? I'm your younger brother. Wang Xinran responded with a smile, Don't worry, Jiang Feng and I will take a photo first, and then we will take a group photo together, no one will be left out tilde. Liu Qian couldn't help but tease, Oh, women, this differential treatment is too obvious. It's really a prime example of valuing women over friendship. After taking the photos, Jiang Feng and Wang Xinran each drove, taking Wang Bo and Liu Qian, and the four of them went to a nearby kebab restaurant. Because he picked up a new car today, Wang Xinran took the initiative to treat others to a meal, and naturally others would not refuse. The meal was a hearty affair, with not only a variety of skewers, but also raw marinated seafood, and steaming hot grilled fish. Everyone enjoyed the meal very much and time passed quietly as they talked and laughed. When the noise outside the shop gradually faded away, we realized that it was already late at night. As the party was coming to an end, a few people made plans to hang out together again next time, and then went home happily. On their way back, Jiang Feng looked at the flowing night scene outside the car window, and ripples arose in his heart. He suddenly thought of something. Aunt Mai Jing had already reached level 4, but there were still several modification points that had not been used. At this moment, a bold idea flashed through Jiang Feng's mind, instantly illuminating his thoughts like a spark. If these points are used properly, it will definitely bring great changes to Aunt Mai Jing. Thinking of this, Jiang Feng couldn't help but feel a little excited. He held the steering wheel with a little force. He couldn't wait to go home and verify his idea. Chapter 12 Aunt Mai Jing's Little Thoughts. Around 11 o'clock in the evening, Jiang Feng returned home. After he entered the house, he simply washed up and then immediately checked Aunt Mai Jing's character information. Target person, Zhao Mai Jing. Level contract value, LV 410162999999. Age, 38. Height, 166 centimeters. Weight, 52.5 kilograms. Appearance, 92 points. Body, 98 points. Special, 100 points out of 100 points. 1 point will be deducted for each sexual relationship with a member of the opposite sex. Hobbies, fitness, sports, shopping. Remaining points, 2. Up to now, Jiang Feng has obtained a total of 3 modification points. Excluding the 1 point that has already been used and added to special, there are 2 points left to use. He had never thought of changing anything before, but just now, he suddenly had a bold idea. Since the system said that any information on the panel can be modified and added, Jiang Feng is ready to give it a try. He clicked on the Interests column, which originally included fitness, sports, and shopping. But now, he was going to add one more item at the end, and that was his own name. Because no matter how the other options changed, Jiang Feng couldn't feel any specific changes. But it's different now if I add my own name. Aunt Mai Jing should react then, right? Character Zhao Mai Jing. Hobbies, fitness, sports, shopping, Jiang Feng. Ding dong. The information column of Zhao Mai Jing has changed. New, relationship value, and psychological status have been added. Please check it yourself. Jiang Feng didn't expect that his modification this time would directly cause changes in the information column. But this is not surprising. He remembered that the system had prompted him at the beginning that the subsequent panel information would be continuously filled and improved. He was just a little excited. What exactly did this new data look like? After checking the character information again, Jiang Feng quickly discovered the changes. Character Zhao Mai Jing. Hobbies, fitness, sports, shopping, Jiang Feng. Relationship value, 80 ordinary friends 60 plus, close friends 70 plus, close friends lovers less than 80 plus, intimate relationships lovers 90 plus. Psychological state. 1. Develop an interest in my daughter's classmates. 2. Want more contact, but feel resistance in your heart. 3. Feeling anxious about the relationship. Note, the psychological state of the contracted character will change from time to time, and the host can modify it using points. Jiang Feng looked at the newly appeared relationship value and psychological state and immediately became interested. First of all, it is the relationship value. You should know that he and Zhao Mai Jing have only met once, but now the relationship value has reached 80 points, which shows that the modification he just made has worked. I just don't know if their relationship is that of close friends or just less than lovers. This psychological state is also very interesting. From Zhao Mai Jing's 3 current states, it can be seen that she is still very conflicted. On the one hand, due to the system, she became interested in Jiang Feng, but on the other hand, she was resisting in her heart and felt anxious about this relationship. Jiang Feng saw this and decided to change his mental state first. After all, it will take some time to raise the relationship value to 90, and one's own modification points are not enough. He only has 1 point left now, so he should modify Aunt Mai Jing's mental state. Ding dong. The host uses 1 remaining point to modify Zhao Mai Jing. Psychological state. 1. Develop an interest in my daughter's classmates. 2. Want more contact, but resist in your heart, accept. 3. Feeling anxious about the relationship. Perfect. Jiang Feng changed Aunt Mai Jing's inner resistance into acceptance. After finishing it, he became a little excited. I wonder what kind of changes will occur after this modification. At the same time, in Aunt Mai Jing's kitchen, the air was filled with the mouth-watering aroma of food. Zhao Mai Jing stood gracefully in front of the stove, skillfully stirring the food with the spatula in her hand, and each stir-fry was just right. My daughter Yang Feng stood quietly by, carefully peeling the garlic cloves in her hands and concentrating on washing the fresh vegetables. The two of them cooperated very well in this busy yet harmonious scene. Normally, they get along with each other in a relaxed and comfortable manner, more like good girlfriends who can talk about anything. There was no serious restraint between the elders and the younger generations, but more of a sense of intimacy and understanding. At this time, Zhao Mai Jing gently lifted a strand of hair behind her ear. This seemingly unintentional action revealed a kind of calmness and indifference that came from the accumulation of years. She turned to look at her busy daughter, her voice gentle and slightly curious. Cindy, I remember there is a boy named Jiang Feng in your class, right? Yeah, Jiang Feng is my classmate, what's wrong? Yang Feng nodded and asked back. Oh, that's it. Zhao Mai Jing paused and explained, last time when your class had a meeting, I borrowed a pen from him, but then I forgot to return it. Then I'll just tell him. Yang Sini thought about it and continued, it shouldn't be a big problem. I guess he won't want it. After hearing her daughter's words, Zhao Jing felt a little anxious. How can I give up? How can I find a reason to contact Jiang Feng in the future? Sini, after all, it was borrowed by mom, so I still have to return it to her in person and express my gratitude. After Zhao Jing finished speaking, a hint of excitement flashed in her eyes. For some reason, these days when it was late at night and everyone was asleep, she always recalled the scene of the parent-teacher meeting that day. Especially just now, she suddenly became more interested in Jiang Feng. This is a very urgent desire to have more contact with the other person. Then I'll make an appointment with him. During the class meeting before, Yang Sini was feeling a little uncomfortable due to her period, so she asked her mother to attend on her behalf. Anyway, no matter what, I should thank Jiang Feng for lending me the pen. Well, I have to thank them in person. Zhao Jing looked at her daughter and took the initiative to persuade her. Okay, let's finish the meal soon. Yang Sini nodded. In fact, as the campus belle in high school, she has many suitors, but not many boys can interest her. And Jiang Feng happened to be one of them. Although his academic performance is very poor, he has a good personality and is also good looking, which makes him attractive to some girls in the class. Even Yang Sini thought he was pretty good. Of course, this feeling has not risen to the level of love between men and women, it is more of a liking. Now it seems like a good idea to take this opportunity to ask Jiang Feng out for a meeting, right? Thinking of this, Yang Sini's face turned a little red. On the other hand, Zhao Jing did not notice any changes in her daughter. She was still planning in her mind, how could she get her daughter to bring Jiang Feng home step by step? In the kitchen, the two of them were thinking about their own things, and no one noticed that the rice was about to burn. Chapter 13 The School Beauty's Invitation. Shall I return the pen to you? After dinner, Yang Sini returned to her room. She took out her cell phone, opened her friend list, and found Jiang Feng's name. Student Jiang Feng, are you there? After sending the message, she became a little worried. This was the first time Yang Sini took the initiative to contact a boy. It would be a lie to say that she wasn't nervous. She was a little worried about what to do if the other party didn't see it or didn't reply to her. Fortunately, Jiang Feng didn't keep her waiting for long and quickly replied, yes, goddess, what's the matter? Yang Sini covered her mouth and felt a little happy when she saw this name. In fact, many boys used to call her goddess, class beauty, school beauty, etc., but she didn't care much. But for some reason, it sounds very pleasant now that Jiang Feng calls her that. It's like this. My mother had a class meeting the day before yesterday and borrowed a pen from you. She hasn't returned it to you yet. Yang Sini said, how about we meet and I'll return the pen to you? Okay. Jiang Feng nodded, are you free tomorrow? If it were someone else, they would definitely be polite at this time. But Jiang Feng did not play by the rules. He simply nodded and agreed. After all, if the school beauty took the initiative to ask him out, he had to seize the opportunity. Oh, I'm free. Yang Sini was stunned for a moment before she reacted. Normally, shouldn't you be polite first? However, she likes this kind of simplicity and clarity, without so many little thoughts. Okay then, let's meet at the school gate at 11 o'clock tomorrow, and then we'll go have dinner. Jiang Feng directly stated the time and place, still not giving the other party time to react. Okay, see you tomorrow. Yang Sini didn't know why, but she agreed subconsciously. That's not right. Don't you have to return the pen? Now we are going to have dinner together, it seems like a date. Thinking of this, Yang Sini's face turned slightly red. Although she didn't object, wasn't this speed a little too fast? On the other hand, Jiang Feng didn't expect it to be so smooth. You should know that when Yang Sini was in high school, she was recognized as the school goddess. If other people knew that I went out on a date alone with the school beauty, I guess they would go crazy. Shaking his head, Jiang Feng put the date aside for the time being. He has recently become fond of the computer version of the chicken game. He has never had anyone to play with him before, and the quality of the people matched by the system is always terrible. Now, he directly called Li Shahan, whom he just met yesterday. Although the beautiful young lady's skills are a little poor, just listening to her voice can make people happy physically and mentally. Isn't he this much better than the colored pen passerby? Jiang Feng expressed his satisfaction. After all, as his employee, it was his duty to serve the boss. At 10:30 the next morning, Jiang Feng was awakened by the alarm clock. He and Li Shahan had so much fun yesterday that they didn't go to bed until 2 a.m. It has to be said that the game that night consumed a lot of energy, and Jiang Feng's body could not bear it. Of course, the final 5-game winning streak is indeed worth remembering. After checking the alarm clock, Jiang Feng quickly got up and packed up. After all, I have a date with the school beauty today, and as a good man, I must not be late. At around 10:40, Jiang Feng finished packing, went downstairs, and drove off in his black Mercedes-Benz E300L. It is only about 3 kilometers from his home to school, and it takes about 10 minutes to drive there. Fortunately, there was no traffic jam during this period, and Jiang Feng drove to the agreed location at 10:55. At this time, Yang Sini had already arrived at the school gate. She has no habit of being late, and she would never deliberately test boys by making them wait for half an hour or something like that. Jiang Feng drove over and saw her at a glance. Today, Yang Sini is wearing a set of sportswear, the same outfit she wore when she was in her senior year of high school, and she looks very young and energetic. Goddess, get in the car. Jiang Feng lowered the passenger window and greeted him. Yang Sini was stunned for a moment. She didn't expect that the other party actually came by car. You know, although the Mercedes-Benz E300L is not too expensive, it is still a bit out of reach for ordinary students. Sitting in the passenger seat, Yang Sini asked curiously, "Do you have a car?" "Yeah, I just bought it a few days ago." Jiang Feng smiled and said, "Don't worry, I have a license, I'll be your old driver." Little tilde. Yang Sini covered her mouth and smiled, "Okay, let's go." "Okay, goddess." Jiang Feng raised his eyebrows and asked, "Where do you want to go shopping?" Yang Sini thought about it and said hesitantly, "I don't know either." "You decide." She feels a little weird now. Wasn't she here to return the pen? But ever since she got into Jiang Feng's car, her heart has been beating wildly, and unconsciously, she seemed to not want to mention this matter anymore. "Then let's go to the IFC. There are places to eat there and there are also many specialty stores to visit." Jiang Feng glanced at her from the corner of his eye, and seeing that Yang Sini had no objection, he continued, "I didn't prepare a gift for you on your birthday a few days ago, so today is a good time to make up for it." No need. Yang Sini's face turned slightly red. She didn't expect that Jiang Feng actually remembered her birthday. Because she was preparing for the college entrance examination, she didn't celebrate much. Jiang Feng brought it up today, which made her a little happy, but she was still embarrassed to accept the gift. "Don't refuse. You just told me to decide." Jiang Feng did not give the other party time to refuse and drove directly to the IFC. In fact, every boy in the class knew Yang Sini's birthday. After all, she is a goddess at the school beauty level, and she has received many gifts on her birthday in previous years. However, it is rare to see someone as direct as Jiang Feng. Sometimes it is like this: the stronger Jiang Feng is, the more moved Yang Sini is. She didn't say anything, but just glanced at him secretly out of the corner of her eye. "I have to say, Jiang Feng is quite handsome when driving." 15 minutes later, the two arrived at the underground garage of IFC. Yang Sini said nervously, "Why don't we go to another place? I heard that the things here seem to be quite expensive." Jiang Feng smiled and said, "It's okay, I won't pretend anymore, I'm actually a rich second generation." Yang Sini couldn't help but widen her eyes. According to her understanding, the term rich second generation should be somewhat derogatory. But for some reason, when Jiang Feng said it, it didn't sound bad at all. "Student Jiang Feng, why do I feel that what you said is wrong, but I can't refute it?" Yang Sini bit her lip, feeling a little confused. "Then don't think too much, let's go for a walk." Jiang Feng smiled and said, "Actually, the things here are pretty good, not too expensive. Anyway, we can't charge you for just browsing around. What you said seems to make sense." Yang Sini felt that she was completely convinced. "Let's go." Jiang Feng got out of the car first, opened the passenger door, then reached out and helped Yang Sini down. No, I can do it." Yang Sini felt a little embarrassed. The moment Jiang Feng held her hand, she felt her heart beating faster. Chapter 14, Dating, Shopping, School Beauty Trying on Clothes. Enter the IFC Mall. The two took the elevator to the second floor, where there were many luxury brands. Jiang Feng took Yang Sini for a walk and then came to the Chanel store. "Welcome." The sales lady greeted me politely. Jiang Feng nodded, then entered the store with Yang Sini. They wandered around the women's clothing section for a while. I have to say that many of the clothes here are particularly in line with Yang Sini's temperament. Jiang Feng asked, "How is it? Is there anything you like?" Yang Sini shook her head. Although she didn't look at the price, she knew that clothes of this brand must be expensive. Jiang Feng glanced around and saw a nice beige long skirt. "How about this long skirt? Would you like to try it on?" Without waiting for Yang Sini to answer, he called the clerk directly. "Please get a size that suits her, thank you." "Okay, no problem." The sales lady was very enthusiastic. She looked at Yang Sini and said, "Madam, we can come to the fitting room over here." "Oh, okay." Yang Sini nodded subconsciously, and then went to the fitting room accompanied by the clerk. She is still a little confused now. After all, it is her first time in such a luxury store, so she is a little nervous. Especially since Jiang Feng really picked out clothes for her. Should she accept them? 5 minutes later, Yang Sini came out wearing a beige long dress. She stood in front of the floor-length mirror and looked at herself in the mirror. Against the backdrop of her clothes, she looked even more graceful. To be honest, she really likes this skirt. Not only does it look good, but the fabric is also very comfortable to wear and can enhance her temperament. Compared with the previous sportswear, it has a hint of holiness. However, she just looked at the price tag in the fitting room and found that the price of this skirt was 30,800 yuan. Even though Yang Sini knew that Chanel clothes were not cheap before she came, she was still shocked now. It was just a beige long skirt, but it cost more than 30,000 yuan. This was really beyond Yang Sini's imagination. "It's so beautiful." Jiang Feng stood behind Yang Sini, admiring the way she looked in the dress. She looked like a true goddess. But some are too expensive. Yang Sini bit her lip. Although she was a little reluctant, she still shook her head to refuse. "Is it expensive? I've already revealed that I'm a second-generation rich man, so if it looks good, just buy it." Jiang Feng looked at the clerk and said directly, "Swipe the card." "Okay, wait a moment." The clerk came over quickly and swiped the card to pay in one go. After finishing, she even asked attentively, "Sir, would you like to take a look at the matching shoes?" Jiang Feng nodded. "Okay, let's match them together." The clerk then recommended the Mary Jane shoes, which are made of white calf patent leather and paired with black bow ribbons. This is a very classic pair of Chanel shoes. After Yang Sini put it on, her whole aura was indeed sublimated. "Swipe the card." Jiang Feng expressed his satisfaction. The shoes only cost 10,800 yuan, which was very cheap compared to the dress. In just over 10 minutes, he spent more than 40,000 yuan. The clerk saw this and knew that he had met a wealthy customer today, so he became more attentive. But Jiang Feng didn't care. He had plenty of money anyway, and the wool came from the sheep. "I have made so much money from Aunt Mai Jing, so it is reasonable for me to give back to her daughter." At this moment, a system prompt sound suddenly rang in Jiang Feng's mind. Ding dong. Zhao Meijing purchased Teacher Zhang's college entrance examination volunteer application consulting service 1, spending 13,888 yuan, and the host received a 10-fold cashback reward, a total of 138,880 yuan. Jiang Feng felt a little emotional. Aunt Mai Jing really knows how to spend money. She bought a lot of things recently, and it wasn't long before she spent such a large sum of money again. But this time I spent the money on my daughter, and it is related to the application form, so it is worth it. Jiang Feng had seen Teacher Zhang on the internet before. He was a teacher who specialized in providing consultation on filling out college entrance examination applications and had more than 20 million fans on the internet. I have to say that they are real talents and can help many confused parents choose the most suitable schools for their children. But the fees are really high and many families may not be able to afford it. Aunt Mai Jing is really willing to sacrifice herself for her daughter. But it's also good this way. Jiang Feng got more than 130,000 yuan in cash back at once, which was really cool. "I think that t-shirt is nice, bring it over and have a look." Jiang Feng pointed and said, "And that short skirt, it should be a good match." "Okay." The sales lady nodded quickly and responded, "Sir, you have good taste. It will look great on your girlfriend." After hearing this, Yang Sini's face turned red and she felt like her brain had stopped thinking. Originally she wanted to say she didn't want to buy it, but now she didn't dare to look up at Jiang Feng. The clerk brought the clothes and Yang Sini entered the fitting room. 5 minutes later, when she walked out, Jiang Feng was amazed again. This t-shirt paired with a Bermuda skirt looks very young and fashionable, and it is a different style compared to the long skirt just now. Swipe the card. Jiang Feng didn't say anything more and paid the bill directly. This outfit is relatively cheap, with the t-shirt costing 20,100 yuan and the skirt costing 11,500 yuan, which adds up to more than 30,000 yuan. After paying the bill, Jiang Feng wanted to take a look and pick out a few more pieces of clothing. But this time, Yang Sini said she didn't want anything, so the two had to leave. Jiang Feng couldn't help but sigh inwardly. Girls like Yang Sini should be rare in society nowadays. Most girls would probably actively ask for shopping. So girls like Yang Sini should really be cherished. After leaving the Chanel store, Jiang Feng wanted to buy some clothes for himself, so he took Yang Sini to the Gucci store next door. Here he bought 2 sets of t-shirts and shorts, and 4 pairs of casual shoes, spending a total of 58,000 yuan. I have to say that Gucci's prices are much more reasonable than Chanel's. Of course, the brand's style is a little lower. But Jiang Feng still likes its style very much and will come back to shop when necessary in the future. Yang Sini, who was standing next to him, watched Jiang Feng picking out high-end luxury brands like he was buying vegetables, and her heart went from being shocked to gradually getting used to it. After all, Jiang Feng had spent more than 70,000 yuan at Chanel just now, and now it's only 58,000 yuan, which doesn't seem like a lot. At noon, Jiang Feng and Yang Sini were both a little hungry. The two discussed it and chose a spicy hotpot restaurant. This shop is very popular on the internet. Jiang Feng had seen its video before and decided to come and try it today. After finishing the meal, Yang Sini took the initiative to pay the bill. Jiang Feng did not rush to pay the bill. After all, sometimes, it would be better to let girls pay the bill. Sure enough, Yang Sini was very happy. After paying the bill, he even pulled Jiang Feng to go to the movies with him. In fact, Yang Sini knew clearly that compared to the gift Jiang Feng gave her, eating and watching movies would not cost much. But sometimes it is like this. Once a girl feels guilty, the rest will come naturally. Chapter 15 discovered by Aunt Mai Jing? In the afternoon, Jiang Feng and Yang Sini watched a movie together. In the cinema, the two were very close. Although they both understood it tacitly, Jiang Feng did not go any further. After all, time is too short now. If we rush for quick results, it is likely to lead to bad results. Of course, the most important thing is that Jiang Feng said that he is young and successful and has no inferiority complex, so he should have a lot of girlfriends. So why take the initiative? If you don't take the initiative, you can always maintain a relatively intimate relationship. Isn't that better? If you want to be a good man, you must remember the 12-word principle. Don't take the initiative, don't refuse, don't take responsibility, don't get entangled. If you take the initiative but don't take responsibility, then isn't that a complete scumbag? Anyone can kill this scumbag man. A good man is different. He neither takes the initiative nor becomes entangled. Everything happens naturally. After watching the movie, Jiang Feng originally wanted to have dinner with Yang Sini. But at this time, Yang Sini's phone rang. It turned out that it was her mother calling, asking her to go home for dinner. Jiang Feng, I'm sorry, my mother called and said that dinner is ready and asked me to go back and eat. Yang Sini felt a little embarrassed. It's okay, let's make an appointment another day. Jiang Feng smiled and naturally didn't mind. Well, I'm sorry. Yang Sini lowered her head and suddenly felt a little resentful towards her mother. Why not call her at any other time? Why ask her to come back for dinner at this time? In the past, when she went out with her friends, it seemed that no one was so strict with her. On the other side, Zhao Meijing had just put down her phone. She was a little absent-minded all afternoon. For some reason, she felt a little jealous when she thought about her daughter dating Jiang Feng. So after get off work, she quickly called her daughter. Around 6 o'clock in the evening, Yang Sini finally arrived home. Sini, where did you go this afternoon? Zhao Meijing stood at the door and asked. As she asked, she also looked at the 2 Chanel shopping bags that Yang Sini was carrying. Zhao Meijing works in a bank and has a certain understanding of these high-end luxury brands. She was very clear about the price of Chanel, which was definitely not something Yang Sini could afford. And just now, Jiang Jing had been standing in front of the window and saw her daughter getting out of a Mercedes-Benz E300L, and she waved goodbye to the person in the driver's seat with a smile. What's going on? Jiang Jing subconsciously worried that her daughter would go astray. Because according to her understanding of Jiang Feng, he should be the same age as her daughter. How could he afford such an expensive car? Mom, didn't I say I was going out with my classmates? Yang Sini felt that her mother was suspicious of her, so she explained, the person who sent me back just now was Jiang Feng from our class. You two have met before, and he even lent you a pen before. You said the person who drove you back just now was Jiang Feng. Jiang Jing was a little surprised. Yeah, he just bought the car a few days ago. Yang Sini responded. So what's going on with you two now? Are you in a relationship? Jiang Jing continued to ask questions. Although the fact that Jiang Feng had a car was a bit unexpected, she was more concerned about whether her daughter was in a relationship with him. Not yet, but I think he's pretty good. Yang Sini's face turned slightly red. Although she was a little shy, she still expressed her thoughts. Sini, you are still young, don't be so anxious about falling in love. Jiang Jing didn't know why, but subconsciously she wanted to persuade her daughter not to fall in love too early. I know, but I don't know whether they like it or not. Yang Sini thought about it and realized that although she was very happy with Jiang Feng today, he didn't say anything else until they parted. This feeling was very different, and it made her feel a little less confident in herself. Jiang Jing saw it and was very surprised. You haven't confirmed your relationship yet, and Jiang Feng has already given you such an expensive gift. Well, I declined, but he said it was a birthday present. Yang Sini recalled the scene during the day and was still a little confused. Then she opened her Chanel bag and took out the clothes she bought today. Jiang Jing took a look at the long skirt and said with some emotion, "It looks very nice and it suits you very well. Mom, try it on. It's very comfortable to wear." Yang Sini handed over the long skirt. Forget it, beige is still too young, it doesn't suit me. Although Jiang Jing was somewhat tempted, she felt a little jealous when she thought that this was bought by Jiang Feng for his daughter. Mom, you were young too. Yang Sini didn't think too much and couldn't help but persuade her, every time we go out, people think we are sisters. Try putting it on. They are of similar build, Jiang Jing is just a little shorter than her daughter. In addition to her careful maintenance, she really doesn't look her age, and many people mistake her for an older sister. After some hesitation, Jiang Jing finally took the long skirt. After she put it on, she felt very comfortable. It is indeed made of mulberry silk, it is skin-friendly and breathable, and it really enhances my temperament when I wear it. Standing in front of the mirror, Jiang Jing felt that she looked a little younger. She looks very similar to Yang Sini, almost like they were cut from the same mold, except that Jiang Jing is a little more mature. But now that she's dressed, the difference between the two is even smaller. How much is this dress? At least 10,000 yuan, right? Jiang Jing was tempted and wanted to buy one for herself. 30,800. After Yang Sini finished speaking, she couldn't help but stick out her tongue. This price is really too expensive, and ordinary people definitely can't afford it. Jiang Jing said she was a little autistic. Although she likes shopping, she also spends a lot of money. But this amount of money is just a drop in the bucket for high-end luxury brands. Are you sure you're not in a relationship? Jiang Jing looked at her daughter and expressed some doubt. Mom, I'm serious. We haven't even held hands. Yang Sini was a little shy. Okay, I got it. Jiang Jing nodded, and she couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Recently, she has become more and more interested in Jiang Feng, so she asked her daughter to take the initiative to approach him. But in the current situation, things are somewhat out of her control, and she must get to know Jiang Feng as soon as possible. Thinking of this, Jiang Jing looked at her daughter and said, Sini, if you have time this weekend, invite him to come to your house and sit down. Come to my house. Yang Sini was stunned for a moment. Although she also wanted to make an appointment with Jiang Feng again, she didn't expect her mother to ask her to come to their house directly. Well, after all, they bought you such an expensive gift. Inviting you to their home is a better way to express your gratitude. Jiang Jing said seriously. In fact, she herself didn't quite believe this reason. But there was no other way. She was so interested in Jiang Feng now that this was the only way she could meet him. Chapter 16. The second contracted character. It was 7 o'clock in the evening and Jiang Feng just got home. The weather outside was a bit hot today and he sweated a lot, so the first thing he did when he entered the house was to take a shower. 10 minutes later, Jiang Feng cleaned up, lay comfortably on the sofa in the living room, and checked the status of the system. Host, Jiang Feng, age, 18, height, 179 centimeters, weight, 75 kilograms. Level number of contractors, stubborn bronze I13. Constitution, 65 mainly refers to health status. Energy, 60 mainly refers to durability. Charm, 60 including appearance, temperament, and affinity, calculated after comprehensive calculation. Skills, none. Props, none. Warehouse, none. Fixed assets, Marjuji Hotpot Restaurant, Jiangbei Star Mercedes-Benz for S Store. Cash, 109,308 yuan. Really good. Today Jiang Feng took Yarnsini to buy a lot of things, spending a total of 131,200 yuan, but not only did his money not decrease, but it increased. This is all thanks to Aunt Mai Jing. Because she bought the course taught by Teacher Zhang, Jiang Feng received a 10-fold cashback and pocketed 138,880 yuan. All in all, he made a net profit of more than 7,000 yuan. So all the expenses today will be paid for by Aunt Mai Jing. Perfect. Jiang Feng said that for such a good thing, he just wanted a few more billions. At this moment, his phone screen flickered. He picked it up and saw that it was a message from Yarnsini. Jiang Feng, are you there? Goddess, what's wrong? Jiang Feng replied with a smile. Hate it, you're making fun of me again. There was a hint of coquettishness in Yarnsini's reply. Although she said so, she actually felt very happy about Jiang Feng's affectionate name. Then she continued to send a message. I just want to ask you, are you free this weekend? Jiang Feng smiled and tapped his fingers quickly on the screen. I originally had something to do, but since you asked me this, I would turn it down even if I had something to do. He knew that this sentence would most likely cause Yarnsini to misunderstand, but he just liked to see her nervous. No, just go do what you need. Sure enough, Yarnsini's reply immediately revealed her concern and consideration. She didn't want her own affairs to affect Jiang Feng's affairs. Looking at her reply on the screen, Jiang Feng couldn't help laughing and quickly explained, I'm just kidding, I don't have anything else to do. He imagined Yarnsini's relieved expression when she saw these words, and he felt inexplicably happy in his heart. Oh, that's it. Yarnsini's message flashed on the screen, with a hint of subtle shyness and uneasiness, as if one could hear her slightly nervous breathing. When you were sending me home, my mother happened to see you. She asked me about the new clothes. After she heard that you bought them for me, she wanted to invite you to her house to express her gratitude in person. Jiang Feng raised his eyebrows slightly when he saw the message, thinking to himself, Aunt Mai Jing actually took the initiative to invite me. He recalled that a few days ago, he used modification points to adjust some psychological attributes, but he didn't expect that it would work so quickly. Sure, I have nothing to do on the weekend. Jiang Feng thought about it and quickly agreed. After receiving Jiang Feng's affirmative answer, Yarnsini's originally tense mood on the other side of the screen instantly relaxed. She planned to learn how to cook in the next few days, so that she could prepare a delicious meal for Jiang Feng and show off her cooking skills. Okay, Jiang Feng, see you this weekend. Yarnsini replied happily, already beginning to look forward to it. Okay, see you this weekend. For Jiang Feng, receiving an invitation from school beauty Yarnsini to visit her home was undoubtedly something to look forward to. He hoped to have more time alone with Yarnsini to further deepen their understanding of each other, and he also secretly looked forward to seeing the impressive Aunt Mai Jing again. Ever since their last chance encounter at school, Aunt Mai Jing's gentle and lovely image often appeared in his mind. Her smile, her words, and even the elegance in her gestures are unforgettable. Jiang Feng didn't know how Aunt Mai Jing had been doing during this period of time, and whether she still maintained that unique charm and charisma. Thinking of this, he remembered the special points he had modified. According to the system's prompts, Aunt Mai Jing should have recovered by now. However, Jiang Feng was full of curiosity about what the specific changes would be. He would wait until he had the chance in the future to uncover the mystery himself. After replying to Yarnsini's message, Jiang Feng lay on the sofa, eating snacks while swiping the screen of his mobile phone to watch Douyin videos. It was 10 o'clock in the evening and Jiang Feng's cell phone rang again. This time, Wang Xinran's name appeared on the screen. Xiao Feng, are you free now? On the other end of the phone, Wang Xinran's voice sounded weak and feeble, like a soft feather fluttering in the air. Of course I'm free, Sister Xinran, what's wrong? Jiang Feng's heart tightened, and his tone was full of concern. I just had a party with my bestie and accidentally drank a few more glasses. Now I feel a little dizzy. Wang Xinran spoke with a hint of apology, and said softly, could you please come and pick me up? No problem, Sister Xinran, I'll be there right away. Jiang Feng agreed without hesitation, and then asked carefully, where are you exactly now? Send me a location. Okay, thank you, Xiao Feng. Wang Xinran felt somewhat happy, and even her drunkenness was sobering up a little. Then she sent her location information to Jiang Feng. After checking, Jiang Feng found that the restaurant where Wang Xinran was not far from him, but it would still take more than 20 minutes to drive there. So he immediately got up, put on his clothes and prepared to go out. After all, it's quite late now, and it's still worrying to see a beautiful girl drinking too much outside. Ding dong. The target person has been detected, and the helping contract system is binding. 0%, 25%, 50%, 100%. The contract was successful. Target person, Wang Xinran. Level contract value, LV1099. Age, 24. Height, 172 centimeters. Weight, 53.2 kilograms. Appearance, 93 points. Body, 95 points. Special, 100 points out of 100 points. 1 point will be deducted for each sexual relationship with a member of the opposite sex. Hobbies: studying, sports. Favorability, 95. Psychological state, he has a deep affection for you, which may go beyond the scope of a younger brother. Remark. 1. Wang Xinran, for all future consumption, the host will receive a 10-fold cashback reward. 2. Wang Xinran, level is upgraded, and the host obtains extra rewards, including but not limited to real estate, cars, equity, skills, props, pills, news L. 3. When Wang Xinran's level is upgraded, the host will obtain modification points, which can be used to decrease the value of the character panel, or delete the desired content. 4. The current panel of Wang Xinran is incomplete. As the level increases, new information will be continuously added. Chapter 17. Sister, are you drunk? Jiang Feng was just about to go out when he realized that because the other party had asked him for help, the contract had now been successfully concluded. He couldn't help but check the system information. Wang Xinran's appearance score of 93 and figure score of 95 were indeed a bit overwhelming. And the favorability level actually reached 95 points directly, which is too high. Moreover, in the status bar, the other person's mental state was also noted. Could it be that Sister Xinran has always liked me? This caused ripples in Jiang Feng's heart. It turned out that Sister Xinran, who had always taken care of him and cared about him, had special feelings for him. Shaking his head, Jiang Feng thought it would be better to meet first. After all, the other party was drunk and he was still a little worried. Jiang Feng quickly went downstairs and drove to the navigation location. Because it was already late and there were not many cars outside, he drove very fast and arrived at the hotel entrance in about 10 minutes. Just as he parked the car, a system prompt sound suddenly rang in his ears. Ding dong. Wang Xinran, their dining consumption is 590 yuan, and the host receives a 10-fold cashback reward, a total of 5,900 yuan. Huh? This should be the end of the party. Sister Xinran went to pay the bill. It seemed that he arrived just in time, without wasting any time and without having to keep her waiting outside for long. Jiang Feng thought about it as he got out of the car and walked towards the hotel. At the same time, he also checked that his bank card had received the deposit information. The system is really powerful, but I don't know what the extra reward will be this time. Ding dong. Wang Xinran character level increased to LV2 590-999. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a modification point, which allows you to modify Wang Xinran. Bonus, mastery level driving skills. Jiang Feng looked at the rewards from the system. The first one was not surprising, as it allowed him to modify the character's information data. The second one is very novel, it is a skill-based reward. As soon as Jiang Feng's eyes fell on this reward, his brain seemed to be instantly filled with a torrent, and a huge amount of driving knowledge and skills poured into the depths of his consciousness like a tide. This information flow not only covers the basic operations of various types of vehicles and emergency handling, but also includes some advanced driving techniques that only professional racing drivers can master. At this moment, Jiang Feng could clearly feel the changes in his body. A subtle and familiar feeling spread from his limbs. Each of his driving movements seemed to have been honed through thousands of trials and tribulations, becoming extremely skilled and precise. The feeling is hard to describe. It's like a novice who has never touched a steering wheel, but suddenly has the years of experience of a DD driver. Whether it's the control over the vehicle or the judgment and response in complex road conditions, I have reached a whole new level. Proficient driving skills. 1. When the host is driving, there is a 5% chance to increase the favorability of the people in the car by +1. 2. When the host is driving, there is a 0.1% chance to trigger the love at first sight familiarity effect, favorability directly 90+. 3. This skill can be upgraded later to have a higher effect bonus. After reading it, Jiang Feng felt that this skill was so powerful. As long as you drive yourself, you can get closer to the people in the car and even trigger some special effects. And it can be upgraded in the future, wouldn't it be even stronger then? Perfect. Jiang Feng couldn't help but give Sister Shinran a thumbs up. She is worthy of being my good sister. The skills she rewarded are really great. Then he strode into the hotel, and when he opened the door, he saw Wang Shinran sitting on a chair at the door, looking down at the ground, and no one knew what he was thinking. Sister Shinran. Jiang Feng walked over with a smile and asked with concern, "How much did you drink today? Is everything okay?" When Wang Shinran heard this familiar voice, his thoughts seemed to be awakened from the abyss. She raised her head quickly, with a hint of surprise and joy in her eyes. "Xiao Feng, you're here, I thought you would arrive in a while." "Well, I'll be out the door after you make the call." Jiang Feng responded with a smile, then looked at the other person. Seen from this angle, her originally beautiful face was stained with an intoxicating blush due to the effect of alcohol, and her eyelashes trembled slightly, sparkling as if they were stained with starlight. "Brother, you are so kind. Let's go back now." Wang Shinran stood up lightly and naturally took Jiang Feng's arm. Although she was a little tipsy at the moment, her natural elegance was not diminished at all. On the contrary, the alcohol made her even more gentle and tender, which made people feel protective of her. Then the two of them walked out of the hotel side by side and walked slowly towards the parking lot. Jiang Feng asked with concern, "Sister Shinran, why did you drink so much tonight?" Wang Shinran smiled lightly, and even though she was drunk, she still stuck out her tongue playfully and replied, "We are good sisters who haven't seen each other for many years. It's a rare occasion for us to get together, so I drank a little more." After hearing this, Jiang Feng couldn't help but remind her, "In the future, try to drink less outside. After all, you are a girl, and it is always a little unsafe to be alone." "Yeah, got it." Wang Shinran nodded obediently, gently resting her cheek on Jiang Feng's arm, and couldn't help but increase the strength she held onto him. Jiang Feng clearly felt that she was indeed a little drunk tonight, and she almost leaned on him while walking. However, this kind of intimate contact, which is neither there nor there, actually brings a different kind of comfort. He thought to himself that the 95-point figure shown by the system was indeed well deserved. This unique charm made her look even more charming in the tipsy night. After getting in the car, Jiang Feng skillfully set the destination in the navigation. He knew the other person's home address. After all, they had lived not far from each other since childhood, so they could be said to be very familiar with each other. However, Wang Shinran gently stopped him and said, "It's too late now. I'm worried that I'll disturb my family. Let's not go back tonight." Jiang Feng heard this, a hint of surprise flashed in his eyes, and then asked, "Then where are we going now?" Wang Shinran hesitated for a moment, then said in an increasingly weak voice, "I have booked a room at the Hilton Hotel on Zhongshan Road. You can just take me there." Before she finished speaking, she seemed extremely tired, her voice gradually became inaudible, and finally she closed her eyes and fell into a deep sleep. Jiang Feng wanted to say something, but the other party had fallen asleep, so he could only drive to the Hilton Hotel on Zhongshan Road. Half an hour later, Jiang Feng drove smoothly all the way to the destination. After he parked the car, he tried to wake her up, "Sister Shinran, Sister Shinran." But after calling a few times, Wang Shinran no longer responded, as if he was sleeping too deeply because of drinking. Ding dong. Mastery level driving skills come into play. Wang Xinran's favorability +1. Mastery level driving skills come into play. Wang Xinran's favorability +1. Mastery level driving skills come into play. Wang Xinran's favorability +1. Jiang Feng just drove all the way here and has met the triggering conditions for the skill, so his favorability has been improved. Thinking of this, he looked at the other party strangely. Since the system has already given a prompt, it is obvious that the other party is not asleep now, but pretending to sleep. Chapter 18, Many Children, Many Blessings. Special Rewards. Jiang Feng looked at Wang Xinran, who was pretending to sleep beside him. Her peaceful face looked particularly soft under the dim light in the car. Although he wanted to laugh in his heart, Jiang Feng still didn't say anything to disturb him. He unbuckled his seat belt, got out of the car, walked around to the other side, and carefully opened the passenger door. Jiang Feng's movements were very gentle. He carried Wang Xinran out of the car and went to the hotel. After entering the lobby, he first checked in at the front desk, then took her up the elevator slowly. As the elevator door opened and closed, the floor numbers kept jumping, as if revealing the subtle emotional changes between the two people. At this time, Wang Xinran had already woken up. Her eyelids trembled slightly and her heart was beating like a deer. In fact, she had been pretending to sleep from the beginning, but when she thought about Jiang Feng taking her to their hotel room, her shy mood spread out like ripples in the lake of her heart. So she chose to pretend to be asleep to hide her inner anticipation and nervousness. In the room, Jiang Feng carefully put Wang Xinran down from his arms. Tilde. Jiang Feng let out a long sigh. Although the other person was not heavy, he was still a little tired after carrying him from the car to upstairs. After resting for a while, he prepared to leave. But at this moment, Jiang Feng noticed that Sister Xinran was still wearing high heels, and the exquisite shoes seemed to have become a restraint at the moment. So Jiang Feng naturally bent down and gently helped her take off her shoes, his movements revealing an indescribable thoughtfulness and care. Wang Xinran couldn't help but make a sound, which was like a silver bell blown by the wind, breaking the silence in the room. She knew that she could no longer pretend to be asleep, so she opened her eyes humbly, her eyelashes still trembling slightly. At that moment just now, Jiang Feng's thoughtfulness and the care he showed unintentionally made her irresistibly moved. Ding dong. Wang Xinran favorability +2. The system has detected that this character's favorability has reached 100 points. Congratulations to their host for receiving the special reward, a cashback card for having many children and more blessings. A cashback card for having many children and many blessings? Jiang Feng was slightly stunned. He didn't expect that when the favorability reached 100 points, there would be special rewards. However, the name is a bit strange. What exactly is the cashback method? Juozidwafu cashback card. 1. When the host has many children and good fortune, this card will be used automatically. 2. The system will multiply the number of children and blessings, time, and the other party's satisfaction, and then get a comprehensive coefficient, and then give cash back. 3. This card has been bound to Wang Xinran and is invalid for anyone else. What the hell? Jiang Feng was surprised. He said that he was still a child. Was the system going to cause trouble? But this reward is really delicious. In particular, the calculation criteria take quantity issues into consideration. You should know that under normal circumstances, every time an adult has many children, the output is around 26 milliliters, with about 10 million to 200 million sperm per ml. Therefore, the base number itself is very large. As long as two people carry out the task of having many children and good fortune, they can get a very generous cash rebate after completing it. But the problem now is that the card has been bound to Wang Xinran and is invalid for other people. So how do you complete the task? Thinking of this, Jiang Feng involuntarily shifted his gaze to Wang Xinran. The two people's eyes met in mid-air, and at that moment, the air seemed to be pulled by some subtle emotion and became a little ambiguous. Wang Xinran's cheeks were slightly red and her long eyelashes drooped slightly, adding a bit of charm to her. Jiang Feng cleared his throat and tried to ease the atmosphere. Sister Xinran, you should rest early today. There are still many things to do tomorrow. After saying this, he turned around and wanted to leave. Although the reward was good, he still had to live to spend it. If he continued watching, he was afraid that he really wouldn't be able to bear it any longer. Etc. At this moment, Wang Xinran's voice came from behind. Then Jiang Feng felt that he was hugged tightly. Xiao Feng, don't go. Wang Xinran buried her head in Jiang Feng's back and said this, as if she had used up all her strength. Jiang Feng heard the voice and turned around in an instant. The two were so close that they could almost hear each other's heartbeats. In this subtle space, everything is rendered more delicately and vividly. 10 minutes later, Jiang Feng completed the mission of having many children and good fortune. As the incident happened suddenly, Jiang Feng was not prepared at all. In addition, Sister Xinran was so attractive today, so he couldn't control the time. Jiang Feng roughly calculated it, and it seemed that according to this calculation formula, he was at a loss. No, since we don't have enough time, we can only make up for it with quantity. In order to prove himself, Jiang Feng dragged Wang Xinran to do the task again. The two of them worked non-stop for the entire night, from 11 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning of the next day. Finally, with a ray of morning light shining through from outside the house, Jiang Feng fell into a deep sleep. Hilton Hotel. Jiang Feng slept until 3 in the afternoon and finally woke up. He sat up, stretched, and felt that all his lost energy was restored. At this moment, a pleasant system prompt sound suddenly rang in his ears. Ding dong. Host uses the many children, many blessings cashback card. The number of many children, many blessings, 10 million, the time, 10 minutes, the other party's satisfaction, 90 points. The system comprehensive coefficient is being calculated. 10 million 0.10.9 is equal to 900,000. Congratulations to the host for receiving a cash reward of 900,000 yuan through their Juozi Duofu cashback card. No way. This cashback card for having many children only counts the first time? Why didn't you say it earlier? Jiang Feng said that his heart was bleeding. He was not prepared at the beginning, but it took him 7 hours to make up for it later. As a result, the calculation results are only for the first time, which makes Jiang Feng feel a little bit at a disadvantage. But after all, it's my first time doing a mission, so it's normal that I don't understand some of it. I can only wait for another opportunity in the future. Wait, if another girl's favorability towards me reaches 100 points, will this cashback card for having many children and good fortune also appear? Thinking of this, Jiang Feng couldn't wait to try it. However, he believed that next time he would not have only 10 minutes. Chapter 19, My Sister is Gone. After regaining his composure, Jiang Feng looked around and discovered that Sister Xinran seemed to be gone. He thought that Wang Xinran might be washing up or something, so he didn't think much about it. But after so long, there was still no movement in the room. So after Jiang Feng got out of bed, he went to the suite next door and found that she was still not there. It seemed that Sister Xinran had already left. Thinking of something, Jiang Feng quickly picked up his phone and found that the other party had sent him a WeChat message. Xiao Feng, I'm going back to Jianfu today. I may be busy for a while. And don't feel any pressure on me for what happened yesterday. Just pretend it didn't happen. After reading the message, Jiang Feng knew that the other party was too shy to face him and didn't need him to take responsibility. But since the incident has already happened, Jiang Feng certainly cannot pretend that nothing happened. Then he replied, Sister Xinran, there is no need to hide from me. When will I be free to come find you? At this time, Wang Xinran was driving back to Jianfu. She had been tossed around all night last night and now she is tired and sleepy. I have to say that Xiao Feng's physical strength is really good. Except for the first time when he was a little fast, there is really nothing wrong with the rest. Thinking back to yesterday's scene, Wang Xinran felt a little hot all over. Although she also wanted to stay, after all, they were siblings before, and the sudden change of identity made it difficult for her to adapt. So this morning, she took advantage of Jiang Feng still sleeping, cut off the red plum blossoms on the hotel bed sheet, and then secretly left. As for the issue of room charges and compensation, Wang Xinran had already thought about it and went to the hotel front desk to settle the bill and pay in advance. On the other side, after Jiang Feng sent the message, he waited for a long time but received no reply. He wanted to laugh. It seemed that Sister Xinran was really embarrassed. She probably wouldn't talk to him for a while. At this moment, the system prompt sounded again. Ding dong. Wang Xinran spent 2,180 yuan at Hilton Hotel, and the host received a 10-fold cashback reward, totaling 21,800 yuan. Huh? Jiang Feng raised his eyebrows. Has the room fee been paid? As expected, Sister Xinran is considerate. From childhood to adulthood, no matter what happens, she always thinks of everything. But why does this hotel fee feel a bit expensive? At this time, Jiang Feng suddenly noticed that there seemed to be something cut off in the middle of the bed sheet on which he had slept. He immediately understood what was going on. Wang Xinran character level increased to LV 327-79999. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a modification point. Currently remaining points, 2. Extra reward, mastery level, massage techniques. Remark. 1. When the host gives a massage to someone, there is a 10% chance to increase the favorability by +1. 2. When the host gives a massage to someone, there is a 1% chance of triggering the massaged person's overall favorability, +10. 3. This skill can be upgraded later to have a higher effect bonus. Jiang Feng raised his eyebrows. This time, the extra reward was actually a massage technique. I'm not going to be a male technician, so why do I need this massage technique? Something is wrong. Something is very wrong. At the moment Jiang Feng was thinking, a lot of knowledge about massage flooded into his mind. At the same time, his hands also changed, and he is now very skilled in some very complicated massage movements. It turns out that this is not an ordinary massage technique. There are many hidden acupoints, and proper massage can greatly improve the body. Even girls' uterine coldness can be well treated through massage. This is quite amazing. Jiang Feng expressed his satisfaction. It turned out that Sister Shinran was his lucky star. The skills she rewarded were very practical. After checking the system status, Jiang Feng took a shower and then cleaned himself up. After finishing everything, he felt a little hungry, so he looked at the time. It was exactly 4 o'clock in the afternoon. This time is a bit awkward. If I go home, it's not time for dinner yet, but if I don't go home, it would be boring to eat and go shopping outside by myself. Jiang Feng thought about it and decided to make an appointment with Li Shahan. This girl has been playing games with me for several days recently, so there's nothing wrong with treating her to a meal. Jiang Feng, Shahan, what are you doing? Li Shahan replied immediately, Boss, we are in a meeting. Do you have any instructions? Oh, no instructions. Jiang Feng said calmly, are you free tonight? You've worked hard these past few days, I'll treat you to a meal. Okay, but our meeting isn't over yet, so it might be a little late. Li Shahan said somewhat uncertainly. It's okay, you can go home now. Jiang Feng said calmly, if someone asks you, just tell them what I said. As a boss, it's okay for me to give my female employees a holiday, right? Moreover, compared to daily work, it is also important to accompany the boss well. It can be said that Li Shahan has an arduous task. Oh, we're going over now. Li Shahan was a little slow to react. To be honest, she felt a little embarrassed in front of so many people. And do I really have to say that I want to have dinner with my boss as the reason for asking for leave? Don't worry, I'll talk to your manager Sunday. After Jiang Feng finished speaking, he sent a location to Li Shahan, International Finance Center, 3rd floor, Katayamar Kaiseki Cuisine. Okay, I'll clean it up then. Li Shahan quickly agreed. After spending these few days together, she and Jiang Feng became more familiar with each other and their relationship became better and better. However, this is my first private date, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't nervous. Just as she was daydreaming, the door of the conference room opened and manager Sun Shimao walked in hurriedly. He looked around, then waved at Li Shahan, Shahan, come here. Oh well. Li Shahan nodded quickly, then took her things and went out. The two of them came to the corridor, and Sun Shimao said earnestly, Shahan, from now on, if the boss has any instructions, just go directly, and then come back and make up a leave note. In our store, the boss's needs are above all else. You must perform well and strive to become a regular employee as soon as possible. Sun Shimao's words were flawless. Not only did he flatter Jiang Feng, but he also inspired Li Shahan. I have to say, he is really a veteran in the workplace. This naturally makes a lot of sense to newcomers in the workplace. Li Shahan nodded quickly, thank you, manager. I will do my job well and serve the boss conscientiously. Yeah, go ahead then. Sun Shimao said meaningfully, if you can't get up tomorrow morning, it doesn't matter if you go to work later. Oh, okay. Li Shahan responded and then left quickly. Even if she was a novice in the workplace, she could understand such words, but at night, she was really just having dinner with her boss. Wait, that shouldn't be the case. Thinking of this, Li Shahan's face turned slightly red and she quickly shook her head to calm herself down. The boss is young, rich, and so handsome. If it's true. Forget it, don't think about it for now, just clean up quickly. She went to the bathroom, touched up her makeup in front of the mirror, and finally put on some lipstick. I have to say that at this time Li Shahan was wearing a professional suit. She was tall, had beautiful curves, and had an exquisite and beautiful face, which made people feel pity for her. After packing up, Li Shahan was ready to set off. At this moment, she suddenly thought of something. It seemed that her boss liked black stockings. Looking at her smooth legs, Li Shahan bit her lip, then found a colleague with whom she had a good relationship and borrowed a pair of stockings temporarily. Although it took some time, if I wear it like this, my boss will probably like it, right? Chapter 20 Shahan, your hands are little cold. IFC, 3rd floor. Jiang Feng made an appointment with Li Shahan and went directly to Kataimer Kaiseki restaurant. This restaurant is very high-end in Yuqing. The average consumption per person is about 1,000 yuan, and you can enjoy the best ingredients from all over the world. Jiang Feng found a seat near the window, from which he could enjoy the bustling night view outside. At this time, Li Shahan, guided by the navigation, arrived at the store entrance on the 3rd floor. She was actually a little nervous as this was her first time at IFC. In the past, when Li Shahan went shopping, she would go to Wuyue Plaza with her bestie. After all, the consumption there is relatively affordable, unlike the luxury stores in IFC, each of which is not cheap. Even the dining areas are more high-end than those in other shopping malls. Hello, do you have an appointment? At the store entrance, the waiter asked politely. Oh, yes. Li Shahan said nervously, Mr. Jiang made an appointment. Okay, please follow me. After the waiter finished speaking, he took the initiative to lead the way. Li Shahan hurriedly followed. Along the way, she saw the luxurious decoration of the store and couldn't help but sigh in her heart that this meal must not be cheap. Soon she saw her boss, who was sitting by the window, looking down at his phone. I don't know why, but after seeing Jiang Feng again, Li Shahan felt that her boss seemed to have become more handsome. Mr. Jiang, your guest has arrived. The waiter greeted politely. Yeah, okay. Jiang Feng raised his head and looked in the direction of Li Shahan. I have to say that under the light, Li Shahan looks even more beautiful, especially her long legs, paired with thin black stockings. Boss. Li Shahan lowered her head, but was secretly happy in her heart. Just now she noticed that the stockings she put on temporarily really attracted the boss's stare for a long time. That burning gaze, accompanied by a strong sense of oppression, made Li Shahan feel a little shy. Ahem tilde. Jiang Feng retracted his gaze, and then said seriously, come on, come and sit down. Yeah, thank you, boss. Li Shahan took a look and prepared to sit opposite the boss. However, she was soon stopped. Shahan, come and sit here. Jiang Feng stretched out his hand and patted the seat next to him. R. Li Shahan was stunned for a moment and felt a little embarrassed. Sitting next to each other for the first time eating, isn't this a bit too close? But before she could think about it, Jiang Feng directly held her little hand, pulled her and sat down naturally. The two people were very close to each other, and Jiang Feng could clearly feel that the other person's heart was beating very fast. However, he had no intention of letting go. The main reason is that it feels so good, tender and smooth, and very comfortable to hold. On the other side, Li Shahan was extremely nervous. She had stopped thinking now and let Jiang Feng do whatever he wanted, completely forgetting to resist. Shahan, your hands are a little cold. Jiang Feng said seriously, that won't do. I'll cover it for you a little longer. Thank you, boss. Li Shahan lowered her head and spoke in a low voice. Although she doesn't have much social experience, she still knows about the things between men and women. How could she cover herself up just because she's cold? But she didn't resist. Although she felt a little embarrassed, this warm feeling was pretty good. You're welcome. This is what the boss should do. Jiang Feng smiled. As a boss, it's not excessive for him to care about his female employees, right? In fact, at the beginning, he really just wanted to shake hands. But at this time, his mastery-level massage knowledge came in handy, giving him some feedback about Li Shahan's body. It turned out that the coldness of her hands was not a simple physical reaction, but the result of cold air entering her body. According to traditional medical theory, if cold air stays in the body for a long time, it will affect health. The cold air in the body can be expelled through acupuncture and massage. So now Jiang Feng is not simply holding Li Shihan's hand, but helping her to expel the cold. However, Jiang Feng did not intend to say these words. It's not that he is selfless, but even if he says it out loud, I'm afraid the other party won't believe it. So Jiang Feng planned to treat the patient first, and then explain it when it was effective, so that the other party would understand. Shihan, your hands are cold. Let me warm them for you. Jiang Feng is a kind-hearted doctor, without any prejudice. Oh. At first, Li Shihan nodded subconsciously. But after a moment, she felt shy again. Boss, now. Li Shihan's face was so red. Ahem tilde. Jiang Feng pretended to ponder for a while, and then said seriously, don't think too much, I just covered my hands. It's not right. I mainly want to communicate with you about the future development direction of the company. Oh, I see. Li Shihan raised her head and looked around. After finding that there was no one around, she agreed. After a moment, Li Shihan felt a warmth gradually rising from her body, as refreshing as the spring sunshine penetrating the winter snow. She raised her hand and gently wiped the fine beads of sweat on her forehead and the back of her neck. Although her skin felt sticky, she felt relieved in her heart, as if a heavy shackle had been lifted off her shoulders. Especially her hands and feet, which used to feel a little cold regardless of spring, summer, autumn or winter, now felt the long-lost warmth. Looking back, I have had a weak constitution since childhood, with my hands and feet always being colder than those of my peers, and I was the first to be hit during the flu season. However, now, after Jiang Feng's unique and magical conditioning, she can clearly feel that positive changes are quietly taking place in her body, and the comfort from the inside out surprises her. Boss, this really works. Li Shihan exclaimed, her tone full of disbelief and gratitude. Jiang Feng smiled slightly upon hearing this, and said earnestly, well, the effect will indeed be more obvious the first time you experience it, but if you want to completely improve your physical condition, you need to persist a few more times to consolidate the effect. Although I knew that the master-level massage technique awarded by the system had solved Li Shihan's problem in one go, how could I make excuses in the future? No, the treatment is important. Jiang Feng almost let it slip that the subtle feeling from Li Shihan just now was really good. Ding dong. Li Shihan favorability +1. Li Shihan favorability +1. Li Shihan favorability +10. What's going on? Li Shihan doesn't have a contract yet, does this show her favorability? It seems that my massage technique worked, directly improving Li Shihan's favorability. However, when Jiang Feng wanted to check the specific values, the system was unable to display them. Friendly reminder, this character has no contract, and the specific values cannot be viewed at the moment. Jiang Feng was not surprised. It seemed that he had to wait until the contract was signed. But according to the current situation, it shouldn't be too long. Chapter 21, have a big meal and get a prop gift pack as a reward. Inside the restaurant, warm lights shine on the wooden tabletops, and the air is filled with the tempting aroma of food. Jiang Feng and Li Shihan sat side by side. After some close interactions, their relationship seemed to have become more tacit and closer. There was a subtle light flashing in Li Shihan's eyes and a faint blush on her cheeks. It was obvious that her trust and dependence on the man in front of her had deepened. Shihan, take a look at the menu, is there anything you want to eat? Jiang Feng asked gently, his eyes full of care and concern for her. Okay, let me take a look. Li Shihan took the menu. She was overwhelmed by the dazzling array of dishes on it, especially the shocking prices, which made her very hesitant. Boss, I can order anything. You decide. Okay then, I'll just order whatever you want. Jiang Feng saw Li Shihan's hesitation, so he picked up the menu and quickly scanned the pages of exquisite pictures and texts, and finally stopped at an expensive signature dish, Beishan king crab meal for two, which was priced at 6,888 yuan. Hello, here's the set meal. Jiang Feng called the waiter and started taking orders. Yes, sir. The waiter responded respectfully. In addition to this set meal, Jiang Feng also specially picked a bottle of Satai Nika Sanfen plum wine. This wine has a mellow taste and is slightly sweet and sour. It is the best choice for seafood. It is priced at 1,499 yuan. After ordering, the waiter quickly brought one exquisite dish after another to the table. The first thing that catches your eye is the appetizer, vinegar pickled small 8-inch, which is a small and exquisite plate filled with 8 colorful, sweet and sour side dishes. Its delicate taste intertwined with the perfect vinegar aroma increases one's appetite, as if the dance on the tip of the tongue instantly awakens the taste buds, laying the perfect foundation for the subsequent gourmet feast. Next is the store's specialty, one crab in 6 ways. Accompanied by melodious background music, a professional chef in uniform slowly walked over pushing a beautifully decorated food cart, on which was placed a 5-pound king crab. Li Shihan was shocked to see the crab legs still moving. Jiang Feng, who was sitting next to her, noticed her abnormality, so he gently patted the back of her hand to comfort her. This action was like a warm current, instantly calming Li Shihan's uneasy mood. "Woo!" Li Shihan exclaimed softly. Her heartbeat had not yet calmed down, but she could feel the peace of mind that Jiang Feng conveyed. For some reason, she now felt that the crab wasn't so scary anymore. After the chef showed the ingredients, he quickly went to the kitchen to process them. Their restaurant offers 6 ways to eat crab, including crab leg sashimi, crab leg and vegetable tempura platter, cheese grilled crab claws, steamed crab meat, king crab hot pot, and crab roe rice. There are still a lot of varieties, and it tastes very enjoyable. In addition to the king crab, the set menu also includes 5 single-course dishes. They are salt grilled ox tongue, grilled live eel, fish more and shark fin stewed egg, grilled live scallops, and wagyu sukiyaki. Jiang Feng and Li Shihan both enjoyed the meal very much. Especially Li Shihan, despite what happened just now, the temptation of delicious food still made her eat with relish. At 8 o'clock in the evening, the meal finally came to an end. Jiang Feng burped and called the waiter to pay the bill. "Sir, your spending this time is 8,387 yuan. Would you like to swipe the card or scan the QR code?" The waiter handed over the bill and said very politely, "Scan the code." Jiang Feng took out his mobile phone and used WeChat to scan the QR code to pay. Li Shihan watched from the side and couldn't help but stick out her tongue. The boss is so rich, this meal costs more than her monthly salary. Li Shihan is still in the probation period, so her salary is not much. The meal that Jiang Feng treated her to is actually much higher than her monthly salary. After Jiang Feng paid the bill, the two prepared to leave the restaurant. However, sitting for a long time made Li Shihan's body a little stiff. When she tried to stand up, she felt dizzy and almost couldn't stand. "Careful." Jiang Feng was quick to support Li Shihan. Looking at her face, which was becoming increasingly red due to shyness and embarrassment, he smiled and said jokingly, "It seems that your current physical condition still needs further conditioning. The next round of treatment cannot be delayed." Facing Jiang Feng's concern and teasing, Li Shihan's face flushed with shyness. She lowered her head and responded in a voice as thin as a mosquito, "Well, thank you, boss." Seeing this, Jiang Feng smiled gently and stopped teasing the shy girl. He understood that Li Shihan was introverted and sensitive. If he joked too much, it would probably make her even more at a loss. Therefore, he chose to show care in a more considerate way. "Don't be so polite, just get used to it slowly." The two then left the restaurant and walked around the mall for a while. At this moment, a pleasant system prompt sounded. Ding dong. Wang Xinran recharged 10,000 yuan at Qianfu Jiaolifu Beauty Care Store, and the host received a 10-fold cashback reward, totaling 100,000 yuan. Seeing this message, Jiang Feng couldn't help but sigh. Women really all love beauty. You have to know that the two of them just completed a task together last night. When she returned to Qianfu today, the first thing she did was to do maintenance, and then she recharged her card with 10,000 yuan. Wang Xinran character level increased to LV412770999999. Congratulations to the host for obtaining a modification point. Currently remaining points, 3. Extra reward, primary random item pack. The rewards this time are really good. The first is the modification points of Wang Xinran, which has now accumulated to 3. However, Jiang Feng hasn't figured out how to use it yet, so he can put it aside for the time being. The second reward is a little special. It's actually a prop gift pack. Although it is only a beginner level, Jiang Feng still has some expectations. Ding dong. Does their host choose to open the gift package immediately? Certainly. Jiang Feng responded without hesitation. Congratulations to their host for obtaining 1 primary watch exclusive cashback voucher, 1 primary shopping cashback card, 1 primary bad luck card. Remark. 1. Exclusive cashback coupons for primary watches. When the host purchases watch products maximum limit of 500,000, he can get a cashback of 1-3 times the corresponding consumption amount, and the specific multiple is randomly generated. 2. Primary shopping cashback card. When the host makes a shopping purchase maximum limit of 100,000, he will receive a cashback of 110 times the corresponding consumption amount, and the specific multiple is randomly generated. 3. Primary bad luck card. When the host uses this card on the target will have bad luck. Please use it with caution. Chapter 22 Vatran Constantine, Exclusive Watch Cashback. These 3 card props are very practical. After Jiang Feng read the instructions, he couldn't help but give the system a thumbs up. First of all, there is this watch cashback voucher. Although it can only be used to purchase watches, Jiang Feng just needs one now. It can be said that with the cashback coupon, he can not only get it for free, but can even make a small profit. In addition, the shopping cashback card is the same. You can buy some clothes and shoes on a daily basis. The limit of 100,000 yuan is enough. The last bad luck card is more interesting. It can make people unlucky after using it. It is definitely a good thing for playing pranks. Of course, Jiang Feng doesn't have a target now, but who knows in the future. If someone is so blind as to provoke him, he can use this card to bring bad luck to the other person. The needle doesn't poke. Jiang Feng thought about it while patting Li Shihan beside him. Li Shihan covered her mouth subconsciously. Okay, don't be nervous. Jiang Feng smiled and changed the subject. Go shopping with me first. Oh, okay. Li Shihan finally breathed a sigh of relief. For some reason, her heart always beats fast when she is with her boss. Jiang Feng didn't think much about it. He was now planning to buy himself a watch, and it was a good opportunity to use the cashback coupon he just received. On the first floor of IFC, there are many high-end watch stores, including Vatran Constantine, Audemars Piguet, IWC and Jaeger-LeCoultre. The watches from these brands are not cheap. Even the entry-level models cost at least 30,000 to 40,000 yuan. The two of them walked around here, and Jiang Feng finally entered the Vatran Constantine store. The reason why I chose this one is purely because of my liking for it. Vatran Constantine is worthy of being a top international brand with a century-old heritage. The store covers an area of more than 1,000 square meters. The decoration style looks simple, but it gives people a high-end feeling. When Jiang Feng and Li Shihan entered the store, a female clerk in a black business suit quickly came forward. She was respectful and had a friendly and professional smile on her face. Hello, welcome. How can I help you? The female clerk asked in a gentle and polite tone. Jiang Feng responded, Hello, we want to choose a watch. Okay, please follow me. The female clerk bowed slightly and led them into the store. As a senior clerk of a top watch brand, she relied on her keen professional intuition to immediately judge that the man in front of her was an important customer with great purchasing power. Although Jiang Feng and Li Shihan both looked young, the high-end luxury brand clothing Jiang Feng was wearing was initially estimated to be worth nearly 100,000 renminbi. Although Li Shihan beside her looked inconspicuous in her clothes, her fresh and refined temperament and outstanding appearance were not something that ordinary people could possess. In addition, from the interaction between the two when they entered the store, the female clerk clearly felt that the decision-making power was mainly in the hands of the boys, which made her even more cautious and determined to provide the best quality service to make the other party leave satisfied. Soon the group arrived at the reception room. After Jiang Feng and Li Shihan sat down, their waitress asked politely, What would you two like to drink? Orange juice will do. After Jiang Feng finished speaking, he looked at Li Shihan and said, What would you like to drink? I'm the same as you. It was Li Shihan's first time here, and she was still a little nervous. After all, she had only seen such a high-end watch shop on TV before. Okay, wait a moment, both of you. Soon, the waiter brought 2 glasses of orange juice. Li Shihan took a sip and said with some surprise, Hey, it tastes pretty good. Yes, indeed. What Jiang Feng was thinking was that a watch here could easily cost tens or even hundreds of millions, so the wool comes from the sheep. As long as you like. The clerk smiled and then got to the point, Do you have a favorite watch model? Not yet. Jiang Feng shook his head and said, Please recommend a few. Okay. The clerk thought for a moment, then suggested, I think you are very young, and you may not like watches that are too formal. Why don't we try the Art Master series, especially the Explorer model, which will perfectly match your temperament? Okay, can I take a look? Jiang Feng asked. Of course, please follow me. The clerk responded immediately, always keeping an elegant smile on his face. Jiang Feng and Li Shihan then came to the exclusive display cabinet, where various watches from the Vacheron Constantin Art Master series were placed, among which their Explorer was particularly eye-catching. Please look, sir. This is our latest Explorer series from Vacheron Constantin. As the clerk spoke, he took out two watches with different patterns. Jiang Feng took a look and was instantly attracted by one of them. The dial of this watch is divided into two parts, white and green. It combines hand engraving and enamel patterns to show the legendary story of an explorer discovering the new world. Jiang Feng liked this watch face, so he asked directly, "I'll take this one. How much is it? Do you want it?" The clerk had just introduced half of the product when Jiang Feng unexpectedly wanted to buy it directly. Well, no introduction needed. Jiang Feng waved his hand. In fact, the configurations of top-level watches are almost the same. Even the movements of many brands are the same. Except for the differences in the dials, the performance is similar. Moreover, Jiang Feng didn't know much about watches, so he couldn't understand too much about the performance. As long as you like it, that's enough. So Jiang Feng asked about the price directly. If it was suitable, he would buy it right away. Yes, sir. The clerk quickly said, "The price of this Explorer 7500 U watch is 498,000 yuan. Hearing the price, Li Shihan next to him was shocked. Although the pattern of this watch is very beautiful, the price is too expensive. Even though Li Shihan had prepared herself mentally, she didn't expect it to cost nearly 500,000, which caught her off guard. Okay, let's pay. Jiang Feng didn't hesitate and took out his mobile phone to pay. He had more than 1 million in cash in his account, so it was not a problem for him to buy the watch. Yes, sir. At this moment, the clerk's smile became more enthusiastic. She has been in the store for many years, and it is rare to see such a generous customer. Ding dong. The system detected that the host spent 498,000 yuan on this watch. Would you like to use the watch cashback coupon to specify this consumption? Sure. Jiang Feng didn't hesitate at all and chose to confirm. Congratulations on using the watch cashback coupon and getting a random 2x cashback, totaling 996,000 yuan. Chapter 23. Take Li Shihan shopping, or Chanel. Jiang Feng checked and found that he spent 498,000 yuan on the watch this time. After using the cashback coupon, he received 996,000 yuan. This means that he not only got a watch from this shopping trip, but also made a net profit of nearly 500,000. Jiang Feng now has a total of more than 1.5 million in cash in his account. If fixed assets are included, his net worth will be even higher. At Jiang Feng's age, he has so much wealth that he can be said to have surpassed 99% of his peers. The only ones who can compare with him are probably the second-generation rich from some top families. Wait, I should actually be considered the first generation of rich people, right? Jiang Feng shook his head and regained his thoughts. Sir, do you want to wear this watch now or pack it up? At this time, the clerk asked respectfully. Put it on now. Okay. The female clerk nodded quickly and gently helped Jiang Feng put on the watch. It has to be said that the high-end watch feels very comfortable, and Jiang Feng can feel the slight coolness on his wrist. He moved his wrist slightly and felt very satisfied. Not bad, thank you for your recommendation. You're welcome. It's my honor to satisfy you. The saleswoman smiled and said, "We will also give you 2 watch straps so that you can match them with different outfits in different environments." After saying this, she put the gift watch bag into the box and also put her own business card in it. If you have any questions in the future, you can always contact me. The saleswoman continued, "Finally, thank you very much for choosing Vacheron Constantin. We guarantee that this will be your most satisfying shopping experience." Okay, thanks. Jiang Feng nodded, then prepared to leave with the shopping bags. Boss, let me do it. At this time, Li Shihan took the shopping bag very actively. She didn't have any other thoughts and just naturally played the role of a little follower. After all, it was already very worldly wise that the boss brought her out today, so of course she had to do something for the boss at this time. This unintentional action made Jiang Feng very satisfied, and then he praised Li Shihan. Ding dong. Li Shihan favorability +1. When Jiang Feng heard the system prompt, he couldn't help but want to laugh. I just gave myself a compliment and my favorability rating increased, that's great. The two then chatted and he continued to praise the other. Ding dong. Li Shahan favorability +1. Li Shahan favorability +1. Li Shahan favorability +1. Along the way, Jiang Feng took Li Shahan for a walk. There are many high-end brand stores in the mall, which is like opening the door to a new world for Li Shahan, as she has never been to such places before. At this moment, the edge of the shopping bag in Li Shahan's hand was too sharp and accidentally scratched her stockings. Li Shahan let out a cry of surprise, and a look of panic suddenly appeared on her face. She subconsciously wanted to cover the floor with her hands, but seemed a little at a loss. Seeing this situation, Jiang Feng suggested, "We are in the mall now, let's go buy a new one." His tone was relaxed and natural, as if it was just a very ordinary little thing. "No, it's really okay." After hearing this, Li Shahan waved her hands repeatedly, with a shy blush on her face. She thought to herself that she felt really embarrassed to make her boss spend money again because of her little negligence. However, Jiang Feng did not give up. He smiled and comforted her, "Let's go. You accidentally broke it while helping me get something. We can take this opportunity to buy a new one." This sentence was so considerate and reasonable that Li Shahan could no longer refuse. She could only nod with a little gratitude and shyness. There are many high-end luxury brand stores on the second floor of IFC. Jiang Feng had just been here not long ago, so he went straight to the Chanel store. As soon as he entered the store, the clerk from last time recognized Jiang Feng. After all, it is hard for such a rich young man not to be remembered, and the girl he brought last time was also very beautiful and left a deep impression. Wait, is this a change of person now? Just like last time, the girl this time is still very beautiful. The female clerk didn't have time to think about it, and hurriedly stepped forward and said politely, "Hello, both of you, welcome to Chanel." The employees of this high-end brand store are still very professional and did not mention the previous incident at all. Otherwise, she would ask, "Why is the girl you brought this time different?" Then Jiang Feng's image as a good man would be gone. Well, let's take a look at the women's clothing. Jiang Feng expressed his satisfaction, at least the other party did not ask such stupid questions. Since it doesn't cause any trouble for yourself, why not take care of her performance? Moreover, Jiang Feng now has a shopping cashback card with a maximum limit of 100,000 yuan, so let us follow this standard. Okay, both of you, this way please. The female clerk became even more polite and led the way with a smile. She knew that a big client was coming today, and her performance had improved again, so her bonus this month would not be small. So at this time, she doesn't care how many girlfriends the other person has. The more the better, and it would be best if she has one a day. Jiang Feng didn't know what the female clerk was thinking. If he knew, he would definitely give her a thumbs up. Along the way, he saw several dresses that looked pretty good. Different from Yang Feng's purity and holiness, Li Shahan is born with an alluring charm, especially her charming eyes. Although she is not dressed up, she makes people want to conquer her. So when choosing clothes, Jiang Feng had a lot of ideas and could make some combinations. "Shahan, if there's anything you like, just tell me directly," Jiang Feng said with a smile. "No need." Li Shahan shook her head. The clerk next to him saw it and thought, "Don't shake your head, how can you miss such a good opportunity?" Thinking of this, she hurried forward and said, "Beauty, why don't you try this short-sleeved shirt, our latest style, paired with these shorts, it will look great on you." Li Shahan took a look and felt that the dress revealed a bit too much, and the shorts seemed a bit short. She had never been to this kind of luxury store before, and now she was completely undecided, so she looked at Jiang Feng helplessly. "It's okay, you can give it a try first." Jiang Feng's heart moved. The combination was good, especially the shorts, which suited his taste very well. "Oh, okay." When Li Shahan heard what the boss said, she nodded and agreed. Then the clerk picked a suitable number and took her to the fitting room. Jiang Feng was in a good mood and sat in the rest area waiting. But at this moment, the system prompt sound suddenly rang. Ding dong. Zhao Meijing favorability 1. Zhao Meijing favorability 1. Zhao Meijing favorability 1. Chapter 24 The Fickle Aunt Meijing? What's going on? Jiang Feng was stunned for a moment. Why did Aunt Meijing's favorability suddenly drop? He quickly checked the system, and was shocked when he saw it. Aunt Meijing's favorability dropped directly from 80 points to 75 points. What happened? After thinking for a long time, Jiang Feng was a little confused. Didn't I invite him to my home through Yarnsini before? It seems that women are fickle, even Aunt Meijing is no exception. Could it be that my period hasn't passed yet, so I'm feeling a little irritable now? Shaking his head, Jiang Feng put the idea aside for the time being. Now, he turned his attention back to Li Shahan. Just now she followed the salesgirl and tried on a t-shirt and shorts. I have to say, this light pink t-shirt, paired with light blue shorts, perfectly sets off Li Shahan's good figure. Jiang Feng felt a little emotional. If these long legs were paired with a pair of black stockings, they would be absolutely stunning. Swipe the card. Without saying anything, he gestured to the clerk to pay the bill. Li Shahan was stunned for a moment. Are you buying it now? Just now in the fitting room, she looked at the prices and could hardly believe her eyes. This light pink t-shirt costs 24,500 yuan. Although the shorts are cheaper, they still cost 15,100 yuan. For Li Shahan, who just graduated, this is really too expensive. It doesn't matter, just buy it if it looks good. Jiang Feng waved his hand and said calmly. Sir, do you want to pick one more? The clerk smiled and said, if you want more, just pay for it at the end. Certainly. Jiang Feng nodded. He was aiming to spend 100,000 yuan, so of course he wouldn't just buy one or two items, otherwise it would be a waste. I think that dress is nice, bring it here and try it on. Jiang Feng pointed casually and took a fancy to a black calfskin dress in the window. Yes, sir. The clerk quickly said, you have a good taste. This is our store's main style this season. Your girlfriend will look great in it. After hearing this, Li Shahan's face turned red. Mistakenly mistaken for the boss girlfriend. For some reason, she looked at Jiang Feng with some anticipation, then quickly lowered her head. Jiang Feng smiled and naturally noticed this detail, but he didn't say much, just nodded. Well, go and try it. The boss didn't deny it. Li Shahan felt a little happy, and her heart beat faster. Shall we go to the fitting room? Oh, okay. Li Shahan went to the fitting room and soon came out wearing a dress. She is tall and has fair skin, so this dress is tailor-made for her. She looks even more graceful and beautiful in it. Yes, it is indeed very beautiful. Jiang Feng expressed his satisfaction. Now, every detail of Li Shahan looked just the way he liked. Wait, these shoes don't fit you well. Let us change to some white shoes. Soon the clerk brought out a pair of white sheepskin shoes, which looked very beautiful and could also help increase height. This time it's perfect. Jiang Feng expressed his satisfaction and paid the bill with a credit card. Sir, your total consumption this time is 97,500 yuan. The clerk handed over a list and asked respectfully, would you like to pay by card or by scanning a QR code? Wait, that's not enough. Jiang Feng pointed to the counter next to him and said, give me 2 more pairs of stockings to make it even. The clerk was stunned. It was the first time she had seen a customer bring stockings to make up the entire amount. You should know that Chanel's stockings cost 5,200 yuan per pair, and 2 pairs cost 10,400 yuan. Okay, sir, I'll recalculate for you. The clerk quickly brought 2 pairs of stockings and recalculated the amount. Your total purchase this time is 107,900 yuan. Do you want to pay by card or by scanning the QR code? Scan the code. Jiang Chen took out his mobile phone and scanned the code to pay successfully. Ding dong. The system detected that the host spent 107,900 yuan on this shopping trip. Would you like to use the primary, shopping cashback card, to specify this consumption? Use. Jiang Feng didn't hesitate at all and chose to confirm. Congratulations on using the primary, shopping cashback card. This consumption is calculated as 100,000 yuan maximum limit. The host will randomly receive 8 times the cashback, a total of 800,000 yuan. Perfect. Jiang Feng was very satisfied with this shopping experience. Not only did he tailor an outfit for Li Shahan, but he also made so much money. All he wants now is to wish there were hundreds of millions more good things like this. Ding dong. Zhao Meijing favorability 1. Zhao Meijing favorability 1. Zhao Meijing favorability 1. No way, it's going down again. Jiang Feng checked Aunt Meijing's favorability and found that it had dropped to 70 points. This drop was too fast, and it didn't give him any chance to make up for it. If it drops any further, won't we even be able to be friends in the future? Outside the Chanel store at this time, Zhao Meijing hid in the corner, watching Jiang Feng's every move. After she got off work today, she thought that Jiang Feng would come to visit her home this weekend, so she went shopping in the mall, preparing to buy some new clothes or something. To be honest, his daughter also liked the clothes that Jiang Feng gave to her a few days ago, but he couldn't compete with his daughter for such things. So she went to the Chanel store alone, ready to choose one for herself. Although the prices here are not cheap, she can still afford to buy one occasionally. The main purpose is to wear it in front of Jiang Feng. He should like it, right? Zhao Meijing was just thinking about it when she saw Jiang Feng at the door of the Chanel store. She was originally very happy, but she found that there was a very beautiful young girl following Jiang Feng. What's going on? It turns out that Jiang Feng is not dating his daughter, but has another girlfriend. When Zhao Meijing thought of this, her beautiful eyebrows frowned involuntarily, and her mood became bad. In particular, she noticed that Jiang Feng seemed to have reached out and touched the leg of the girl next to him. Seeing this scene, Zhao Meijing bit her lip and couldn't help but look down at her own legs. They seemed to be quite long, not worse than that girl's. She observed outside for a long time until Jiang Feng paid the bill and left with the girl. To be honest, Zhao Meijing felt a little disappointed, but when she thought about her own situation, she knew there was no reason to be angry, let alone stop the other party. After all, their current relationship is that they have only met once. But she was really sad now. After calming down for a few minutes, she gritted her teeth and walked into the Chanel store. Chapter 25 discovered. Li Shihan's same style. Chanel store. Zhao Meijing waited until Jiang Feng and Li Shihan left, then went into the store alone. Hello, welcome to Chanel. The clerk smiled and said, "It's a pleasure to serve you. What can I do for you?" "Hello, I want to see what the woman was wearing just now." Zhao Meijing pointed in the direction Li Shihan left. "Okay, please follow me." The clerk didn't think much about it and just thought that the other party liked the same style. After all, this situation happens a lot. Many customers see other people wearing good clothes and want to try them on themselves. Then the two of them came to their women's clothing area, and the clerk brought her the same outfit as Li Shihan, a light pink t-shirt and light blue shorts. The first time Zhao Meijing saw it, she felt a little embarrassed. In fact, she hasn't worn such a style for a long time, mainly because it reveals a lot, which takes courage for her. But when I think about how Li Shihan wore it just now, it was not only very sexy, but also looked youthful and energetic. To be honest, as they are both girls, Zhao Meijing thinks she is impeccable. No wonder Jiang Feng likes her so much. Thinking of this, she suddenly had the urge to compare. Although she felt a little embarrassed, she still wanted to give it a try. You have such a great figure, it will definitely look great on you," the clerk said with a smile. She didn't mean to lie, it was mainly because Zhao Meijing in front of her really had a great figure. "If you wear this dress, it will definitely be very suitable." "Well, give it a try." Zhao Meijing nodded in agreement and then entered the fitting room. When she came out and looked at herself in the mirror, her first reaction was a little shame. She hasn't dressed like this for many years. It's as if she has returned to her youth, full of youthful vitality. "Lady, after you put it on, it feels like a new style. It looks really good," the clerk exclaimed. She was already envious of Li Shihan's looks and figure just now, and now there's another one. To be honest, the customers who usually come to Chanel to shop are those who are not short of money, and they dress well and maintain their figure well. But there are not many people like Li Shihan and Zhao Meijing who have such temperament and can be remembered at a glance. Then let's do this. Zhao Meijing thought about it and decided to buy it. Although the price is a bit high, it is not a big problem if you buy one occasionally. "Okay, I'll pack it for you." The clerk was very happy because today's customers were of very high quality. They bought everything they tried after trying them on. By the way, what else did the customer buy just now? When Zhao Meijing was paying the bill, she suddenly asked. They also bought the right stockings. Although the clerk was a little surprised, as a veteran employee, she didn't ask too many questions. "Is that so? Then get me a pair of stockings too." Zhao Meijing bit her lip, feeling a little embarrassed. She didn't even know when was the last time she wore stockings. Although her long legs are very eye-catching in stockings, she rarely wears them since she had a daughter. Now that Jiang Feng likes it, let us give it a try. IFC. Jiang Feng and Li Shahan came to the coffee shop on the first floor and sat there to rest for a while. The two of them bought a lot of things today and are now a little tired. Especially since Li Shahan was very thin, and she was carrying a lot of bags, and her stockings were torn, making her look very pitiful. Of course, only the two of them knew how the stockings were torn. Jiang Feng originally wanted to help, but Li Shahan refused to let him. Maybe in her opinion, this is the only thing she can do to repay her boss. Jiang Feng didn't care. Seeing that Li Shahan was so persistent, he didn't force it. I have to say, it seems pretty nice to have a little follower who can help you carry your bag, right? At this moment, Jiang Feng heard a system prompt sound. Ding dong. Zhao Meijing purchased clothing accessories, spending 44,800 yuan. The host received a tenfold cashback reward, a total of 448,000 yuan. Huh? Jiang Feng didn't expect that while he was shopping, Aunt Mai Jing was also buying clothes, and they were not cheap. He was actually a little curious. He wondered if he could see the school beauty next time he went to her house. After resting for a while, Jiang Feng took Li Shahan out of the mall and went to the underground parking lot. Be careful. As Jiang Feng spoke, he helped Li Shahan open the car door. Thank you, boss. Li Shahan responded obediently. After she got in the car, Jiang Feng sat in the driver's seat, fastened his seat belt first, and then set the destination. At this time, Jiang Feng was thinking about testing his own master-level driving skills again to see if it would be effective. Then he stepped on the accelerator, and the Mercedes-Benz E300L immediately shot out like an arrow, drawing an arc on the narrow road. Ding dong. Li Shahan favorability +1. Not bad, it really works. Jiang Feng looked at Li Shahan next to him. Although she didn't say anything, her eyes couldn't lie. Unfortunately, there is no contract yet, so I can't view her complete favorability. However, a lot of points have been added today alone. I believe that Li Shahan's favorability is definitely not low. Thinking of this, Jiang Feng became even more looking forward to the future. Half an hour later, Jiang Feng drove to the community where Li Shahan lived. Boss, I'm leaving now. After getting off the car, Li Shahan took her things and then looked at Jiang Feng reluctantly. Okay, let's make an appointment next time. Jiang Feng got out of the car, and at the moment of parting, he gently embraced Li Shahan in his arms. This made Li Shahan's face turn red instantly, and her beautiful eyelashes trembled slightly, like willow branches blown by the spring breeze, revealing a shy and sweet emotion. Jiang Feng let go of his hand and wanted to say something, but Li Shahan was like a frightened deer, shy and agile, and disappeared lightly and quickly into the gate of the community. Jiang Feng looked at her back and couldn't help laughing. This little girl is really shy, but this makes her even cuter. Because of his previous experience, Jiang Feng knew that only girls with a favorability of 100 points could get the cashback card for more children and more blessings, so he was not in a hurry to get along with them in daily life, he just needed to take it step by step. Shaking his head, Jiang Feng got back into the car and prepared to drive home. At this moment, Jiang Feng's cell phone suddenly rang. It turned out to be a message from Wang Bo. Wang Bo, brother Feng, help me. Jiang Feng, what's wrong? Wang Bo, I don't have enough money. Can you lend me 2,000 yuan first? No, 3,000 yuan. Jiang Feng, what the hell are you doing? Why do I feel like I was caught soliciting prostitution? No, brother Feng, I'm on a date and I don't have enough money to pay the bill. As Wang Bo spoke, he took a photo of the restaurant. Jiang Feng checked and found that it was indeed in a hotel, and judging from the decoration, it should be quite high-end. But the angle of this photo seems to be taken from the bathroom. Okay, as long as you weren't caught soliciting prostitution. Jiang Feng didn't say anything else and directly transferred 5,000 yuan. After all, we are good friends who grew up together, and this little money is nothing. The reason why he asked was mainly to prevent Wang Bo from being cheated or other situations. Wait, who did you go on a date with? Jiang Feng suddenly became curious. Ahem, Zhao Shanshan from our class. Wang Bo replied quickly. Jiang Feng was a little surprised to hear the news. It seemed that his good brother had finally come to his senses. It's only been a few days and I'm already going out on dates with the girls in my class for dinner. Moreover, although Zhao Shanshan's appearance is far inferior to that of the school beauty Yang Sini, she looks okay after putting on makeup. It's just that she has a lively personality and dresses more casually. She wore miniskirts to school and high school and had many boyfriends. Even her best friends might not be able to handle her. However, these are not Jiang Feng's business. After all, everyone has their own choices, especially when it comes to love, who can say for sure? And if it's just a date, it shouldn't be a big problem. Chapter 26. Auntie went out and sprained her ankle? After returning home, Jiang Feng took a shower first. Today was a busy and fulfilling day. After taking a shower, he lay on the sofa and checked the status of his system. Host, Jiang Feng, age, 18, height, 179 centimeters, weight, 75 kilograms. Level number of contractors, stubborn bronze I23. Constitution, 65 mainly refers to health status. Energy, 60 mainly refers to durability. Charm, 60 including appearance, temperament, and affinity, calculated after comprehensive calculation. Skills, mastery level driving skills, mastery level massage techniques. Props, none. Warehouse, character, Wang Xinran, modification points 3, primary bad luck card 1. Fixed assets, Marjuji Hotpot Restaurant, Jiangbei Star Mercedes-Benz for S Store. Cash, 3,259,721 yuan. Recently, his wealth has increased significantly because he obtained a cashback prop card. It seems that I will need more contracts for this helping system of mine in the future. Time passes quietly in the business and harvest, and in the blink of an eye it is time for the sweet double row moment every night. Jiang Feng logged into the game interface skillfully and found that Li Shahan had been waiting there for a long time, with her avatar on the screen lit up, as if expecting a tacit cooperation. The relationship between the two has now reached a tacit understanding point. With just a glance or a tiny gesture from Jiang Feng, Li Shahan can accurately predict his intentions and react instantly. This is the charm of this game. It requires extremely high levels of cooperation and trust between teammates. The gaming time this night was like being cast under a spell. I was immersed in it and forgot myself. They fought side by side in a virtual world, and their growing tacit understanding was demonstrated in both fierce team battles and clever tactical layouts. As the night deepened, the moon outside the window seemed to witness their victory. Game after game, they were like unstoppable sharp arrows, winning 6 or 7 games in a row until late at night. When the smoke of the last battle cleared and the light of victory flickered on the screen, the two reluctantly ended their gaming journey tonight. The next day, Li Shahan went to work in a hurry with dark circles under her eyes. Although the manager told her that she could come late, Li Shahan still did not come late and got up very early. After seeing this, Sun Shimao couldn't help but praise her. However, when he saw her dark circles, although he didn't say anything on the surface, he couldn't help but sigh in his heart. The boss is worthy of being a young person, he is so full of energy. A few days passed quickly and soon it was the weekend. Jiang Feng got up very early today. Last night, Yang Sini sent her a message to remind her not to forget to come to her house. Jiang Feng naturally remembered the previous agreement. He got up, packed up, and then set off directly. Half an hour later, Emerald, Washington. Driving a Mercedes-Benz E300L, Jiang Feng entered the community very smoothly without even having to register. I have to say, this world is very realistic. If I had changed to a cheaper car, the security guard would definitely have stopped me and questioned me carefully. When Jiang Feng arrived downstairs at the school beauty's house, he suddenly saw a familiar figure. Today, Zhao Meijing was wearing Chanel clothes that she had just bought a few days ago and had light makeup on her face. She looked young and energetic. She had just come out of the corridor with a shopping bag in her hand, and seemed to be preparing to go to a nearby supermarket to buy some daily necessities. However, this scene caused ripples in Jiang Feng's heart. Hey, isn't this exactly? Jiang Feng's gaze was fixed on the dress on Aunt Meijing, and a hint of surprise suddenly surged in his heart. This Chanel dress was clearly the one he bought for Li Shahan when he went shopping with her a few days ago. In an instant, Jiang Feng had a flash of inspiration and understood why Aunt Zhao Meijing's favorability towards him suddenly dropped yesterday. Such identical clothes can't be a coincidence. Obviously, Aunt Zhao Meijing accidentally discovered that he and Li Shahan were shopping together, which made her a little angry, but with a mentality of not admitting defeat, she specially bought the same clothes in response. Looking at Aunt Zhao Meijing, who was wearing the same clothes in front of him, Jiang Feng couldn't help but admire inwardly. It turns out that Aunt Meijing can look so stunning in such an outfit. That elegance and individuality undoubtedly adds a unique charm to her, making people unable to take their eyes off her. Although this misunderstanding gave Jiang Feng a headache, he had to admit that Aunt Mai Jing was indeed eye-catching. Ahem, stay calm. Jiang Feng rolled down the car window and greeted her with a smile. Auntie, are you going out? Jiang Mai Jing nodded in response subconsciously, but when she saw that it was Jiang Feng, she fell on the steps by the roadside without noticing. It's over, this is too embarrassing. At this time, Jiang Mai Jing was sitting on the ground with a frown on her face. She had never expected that after finally meeting Jiang Feng, such an embarrassing scene would happen. Auntie, are you okay? Jiang Feng didn't have time to think about it, so he quickly stopped the car to check the situation. He didn't expect that such an accident would happen just after he said hello. Zhao Meijing's face was slightly pale at this time, and beads of sweat had seeped out of her forehead. I'm fine, I just twisted my ankle while walking carelessly. She tried to struggle to stand up, but the pain in her ankle made her gasp, and it was obvious that she couldn't stand on her own. Seeing this, Jiang Feng bent down without any hesitation, gently put his arms around Zhao Meijing's waist, and then carefully placed her in the back seat of the car. Thank you. I should be able to recover after sitting for a while. Zhao Meijing looked at Jiang Feng gratefully, with gratitude in her eyes. Aunt Meijing, your sprain is actually quite serious. How about I help you with bone correction and massage? When Jiang Feng touched Zhao Meijing's ankle just now, he had already judged that her injury was not light based on his master-level massage knowledge and body sensory feedback. Hearing this, Zhao Meijing couldn't help but show surprise, with doubt in her eyes. Student Jiang Feng, do you know bone massage? She thought she might need to go to the hospital for professional treatment, but she didn't expect Jiang Feng to have such skills. Facing Zhao Meijing's doubts, Jiang Feng responded with a smile, Auntie, just give it a try. After saying that, he asked Zhao Meijing to lean back in the chair as much as possible, then took a deep breath and began his treatment. At this moment, his technique was skillful and precise. Although the opponent's ankle injury was serious, it would not be a problem for him to recover. Chapter 27 Increase Favorability. Jiang Feng carefully observed Zhao Meijing's condition and felt that the time was ripe. So he pulled and tugged, and heard a slight popping sound from the joint, which was the natural reaction of bones and muscles in the healing process. Thank you, Jiang Feng, I feel much better now. Zhao Meijing moved her injured ankle and was pleasantly surprised to find that the pain had basically disappeared and the joint could move freely. She didn't expect that her ankle would recover so quickly in such a short time, and she quickly expressed her gratitude to Jiang Feng. You're welcome. Jiang Feng smiled and continued, but you still have to be careful not to put too much pressure on your ankle to avoid getting injured again. Okay, thank you very much. After this treatment, Zhao Meijing's favorability increased rapidly. That's right. Jiang Feng suddenly seemed to remember something important. He turned around and looked at Aunt Meijing and suggested, we can add each other as friends. This way, if you encounter a similar situation next time, you can contact me directly and I will come to help as soon as possible. When Zhao Meijing heard this, a barely visible smile flashed in her eyes. Then she nodded quickly and said, okay, that's a good idea. Her fingers gently stroked the screen of her mobile phone, and she was obviously secretly happy about being able to maintain a closer connection with Jiang Feng. Although the two of them each had some unspoken thoughts, at this moment, they exchanged threat codes without hesitation. After finishing, Jiang Feng glanced at the system interface and found that Zhao Meijing's favorability had risen to 85 points. This made him feel a little moved and full of expectations for the future. I wonder what unexpected new changes are waiting for him as their relationship heats up. After resting for a while, Jiang Feng considerately suggested that Zhao Meijing should not go to the supermarket today. After all, her ankle, which had just recovered, needed some time to rest. Zhao Meijing looked down at her ankle that had just been treated, feeling the long-lost comfort. She looked up at Jiang Feng, nodded, and agreed with his suggestion. So Jiang Feng supported Aunt Meijing, and they went upstairs and went home together. Mom, why are you back so soon? Didn't you say you were going to buy groceries? In the living room, Yang Sini was sitting on the sofa watching TV. When she heard the door open, she asked with some confusion. Zhao Meijing explained, Sini, I just encountered something downstairs, luckily I met Jiang Feng, and he helped me. Yang Sini was startled when she heard the voice. She quickly stood up from the sofa and ran to the door with light steps, her eyes full of joy at Jiang Feng's arrival. Jiang Feng, you're here so early. She couldn't help but feel a ripple in her heart, and her words revealed her unconcealable surprise and expectation. During this period of time, the two of them communicated daily through text messages, sharing every bit of their lives. They had already gone from being strangers to being familiar with each other, as if an invisible tacit understanding was quietly growing between them. "Yeah, I thought I'd come over early to give you a surprise, and to help your mother at the same time," Jiang Feng explained with a smile. His voice was like a summer breeze, gently brushing through Yang Sini's heart, making her feel extremely comfortable and close. "Sini, take a look at your clothes and pay attention to your image." Zhao Meijing's gaze swept over her daughter, and a hint of subtle worry flashed in her eyes. She looked at Yang Sini's pink cartoon pajamas with a wide collar and embroidered with a few cute little bears, which made her look comfortable and casual. This is their normal attire at home, but it does seem a bit inappropriate on today's occasion. After hearing her mother's reminder, Yang Sini looked down at her own clothes and realized that the neckline of the dress was a bit too loose. A wave of heat instantly surged to her cheeks, and she quickly responded, with a bit of shyness and nervousness, and hurried back to her bedroom. In the room, Yang Sini stood in front of the mirror, looking at herself carefully. Especially the loose neckline, which vaguely revealed her fair skin and delicate collarbone, which made her even more uneasy. Did Jiang Feng see all this when he was in the living room just now? When she thought of this, her heartbeat suddenly accelerated, like a deer beating wildly. Yang Sini was used to being casual and free at home and never expected that something like this would happen today. This was the first time she felt so shy. The unprecedented emotional experience made her feel helpless, and she even dared not go out to see Jiang Feng again. "Auntie, Sini." Jiang Feng looked at the tightly closed bedroom door, a hint of concern in his eyes. A long time has passed since Yang Sini entered the room, but the bedroom door is still quietly closed, without any movement. Zhao Meijing smiled and said, "Don't worry, she just needs some time alone and will come out in a while." After saying that, she operated the phone skillfully, sliding her fingers lightly across the screen. It was an app for a local supermarket with a simple and clear page design and a wide variety of fresh ingredients. Zhao Meijing's focused eyes moved among the dazzling array of goods as she carefully selected each ingredient. From juicy fresh vegetables, to lively seafood, to selected pork belly, chicken, duck, fish and other meats, all are the freshest and finest quality. "I want to order directly from the supermarket so I can ensure the ingredients are absolutely fresh and cook you a home-cooked meal later," Zhao Meijing said to Jiang Feng with a smile while browsing. Her voice is like the spring breeze, soft and warm, making people feel extremely comfortable and at ease. Jiang Feng looked at this scene and understood in his heart that in today's fast-paced society, if one just wanted to fill his stomach, it would be more convenient and save trouble to order takeout. But Aunt Meijing was willing to spend time and energy to personally select ingredients and cook. He was deeply moved by her kindness and sincere care. "Okay, thank you Auntie, you're so troublesome." Jiang Feng expressed his gratitude sincerely. At this moment, Zhao Meijing looked away from the screen, looked at Jiang Feng gently, and asked, "By the way, what kind of food do you like to eat? I will try my best to satisfy your taste." Jiang Feng smiled after hearing this. "It's all fine. I'm not picky about food. As long as it's made by Auntie herself, I believe every bite will be delicious." For him, it was already great to be able to taste the dishes prepared by Aunt Meijing herself. As for what to eat specifically, it didn't seem so important anymore.